Chapter 994. The ninth prince felt tired just resisting the pressure from the fourth prince's draconic providence. Countless magnificent intents suddenly surged over from behind and helped the ninth prince alleviate this pressure. Soul spiritual sensing technique. Olding used a complex technique and a unique soul undulation charged into the ninth prince's soul. The ninth prince instantly felt the power of his soul increase, and he could sense things more clearly. Bodhi seed, Zhou Su, waved her hand, and a bright green seed slowly floated next to the ninth prince. This technique can continuously heal, and it's also useful against damage to the soul. Zhou Su told the ninth prince the use of this technique. Yellow Dragon Protection. Shi Yulei activated his bloodline and used a secret technique. A layer of dark yellow mist instantly appeared around the ninth prince. There were lines on it that kept on changing. It was obvious that this was a defensive secret technique of the Shi family. All the members of the ninth prince's team did their best to help the ninth prince. By intent boost. Zhao Feng wasn't stingy at all. He circulated his left eye and left a mark on the ninth prince's soul. Through this mark, the ninth prince could receive Zhao Feng's eye intent and even part of the god's spiritual eye's power. In an instant, the ninth prince felt as if everything in front of him became 10 times clearer, and he could sense everything extremely accurately. The fourth prince in front of him was even slightly transparent in his eyes. He could see parts of the fourth prince's body and the distribution of his mystic light sacred power. The ninth prince felt as if his overall strength had increased by another level. Boom! The ninth prince puffed out his chest and looked at the fourth prince. An invisible force rose up, and there was an intense collision in the void. Good. Your team members are very outstanding. Praise flashed through the fourth prince's eyes. With the help of his team members, the ninth prince's aura was on par with his. A golden long sword with dragon carvings on it appeared in the fourth prince's hand, and the lines on it instantly glittered with a golden light. Take this. The fourth prince raised his sword and slashed down. The members behind the ninth prince instantly felt a limitless, sacred, lord-level pressure crush over. The power of this sword contained extremely profound intent of the Tao of the sword. Zhou Su and Su Qingling took a few steps back and stood behind the other members. How terrifying! So this is the draconic luck controlled by the royal family. Jing Kai exclaimed. This invisible dragon might was actually targeted at the ninth prince. Moreover, the fourth prince was fighting alone. None of his subordinates were helping him. Clang! The ninth prince immediately pulled out an ancient azure lightning sword. Azure lightning flashed as he slashed out. All the draconic providence in the surroundings gathered together as the two swords danced. Bam! The ninth prince quickly retreated dozens of steps before stabilizing himself. If it wasn't for Shi Yulei's defensive secret technique, Zhou Su's healing secret technique, and Old Ing and Zhao Feng's senses and reaction time, he would have been severely injured. As for the fourth prince, he only took half a step back under such a terrifying collision. He was completely unharmed. So strong. One person against our entire team. Shi Yulei was slightly surprised. Even though the other members of the team didn't really make a move, it was still the same. The fourth prince's foundation is already extremely strong, and his draconic providence far surpasses the ninth prince's. Olding slowly said. The difference between the two princes' teams wasn't just big. Furthermore, the fourth prince's team members hadn't even done anything yet. World of Wind Lightning. Zhao Feng suddenly released his little world of wind lightning. However, his little world appeared around the ninth prince. Rumble. Boom. Boom. Limitless power of lightning within the little world of wind lightning flowed into the ninth prince's ancient azure lightning sword. At the same time, the power of this little world could be used as a shield for the ninth prince. What a strong power of lightning! The ninth prince exclaimed. The inheritance sacred weapon in his hand contained the element of lightning, but since the ninth prince didn't cultivate any lightning elemental techniques, he couldn't use its full power. However, with the support of Zhao Feng's lightning, The power of lightning within his inheritance sacred weapon was unleashed to the maximum. The ninth prince even felt that the power of lightning within Zhao Feng's little world surpassed the power of lightning within his inheritance sacred weapon. Boom! At this instant, countless arcs of lightning flashed around the ninth prince's body. Not bad. Your aura has become stronger, but it's time to end this. The fourth prince's voice was calm. The increase in the ninth prince's battle power wouldn't change anything. Fighting with the ninth prince once meant that the ninth prince had acknowledged him. If he continued, it would be an insult to the ninth prince. As the fourth prince's voice sounded, the members behind him circulated their emperor and sacred lord intents and used secret techniques to reinforce the fourth prince's body. Wong boom, boom. Limitless power gathered around the fourth prince. Even space couldn't handle it and started to give off loud explosions. Come! The fourth prince's voice was deafening and resounded across the sky. Whoosh! The ninth prince was the first to attack. A bolt of ancient green lightning shot out with countless draconic runes. The fourth prince placed his golden longsword in front of his chest. Rumble! He easily blocked the ninth prince's attack. The limitless power of lightning couldn't even break through the fourth prince's defense. With the help of the members of the fourth prince's team, the ninth prince's attack wasn't able to injure the fourth prince at all, even if it was a level higher. Let's end this. The fourth prince waved his long sword and shattered the ninth prince's attack. Whoosh! The fourth prince raised his golden longsword, and all the draconic providence in the air seemed to be attracted by this sword. Limitless power surged into it. This golden longsword was like a golden sun. It flashed with a golden light, and a giant golden dragon that spat out golden flames could be faintly seen on it. Before the fourth prince's sword even descended, it already gave the ninth prince and company a pressure that was as heavy as a mountain. Suddenly, the cry of an eagle came from the sky. Normal eagles definitely wouldn't be able to get close to the battlefield between the two princes. When everyone raised their heads, they saw a ball of light slowly descend. That's a dragon jade. An exclamation came from the fourth prince's side. Ding! This dragon jade accurately landed on the ninth prince's body and then fell. However, the draconic providence within the dragon jade was absorbed by the ninth prince. The draconic providence behind him suddenly increased by 1 meter. Where did this dragon jade come from? Shirley was also curious. This dragon jade just so happened to land on the ninth prince. Could the heavens be helping them? Roar! A few more eagle cries sounded. Whoosh! 3 streaks of light landed on the ninth prince's body. Wong boom! The ninth prince instantly absorbed the draconic providence within the dragon jade, and the draconic providence behind him increased by 2 more meters. This should be Zhao Feng's method. He uses the abilities of a beast tamer to make beasts were dragon jades and go out to collect draconic providence. Zhuge Yun explained to everyone behind the fourth prince. However, the draconic providence within these dragon jades is limited. It won't change anything. Zhuge Yun confirmed. The fourth prince's victory wouldn't change. That's right. It's just 4 dragon jades. At most, there's only this much draconic providence. Another member said. The ninth prince's draconic providence had also increased by 3 more meters, reaching 25 yards. The difference between it and the fourth prince's draconic providence was like heaven and earth. However, as soon as he finished speaking, a few more eagle cries sounded from the distance. Ding! Ding! Bam! 5 more dragon jades landed from the sky and landed on the ninth prince. Although there wasn't much draconic providence within each dragon jade, there were a total of 9 dragon jades. Everyone knew that many drops made a mickle. At this moment, the ninth prince's draconic providence had almost reached 20 yards. How is this possible? How can there be so many dragon jades? A member behind the fourth prince exclaimed. This many dragon jades must have been taken from the other princes. However, after a prince used the pseudo-crown prince eel to ask for help, the related dragon jades would activate the array and teleport them away. It was impossible for them to stay in the imperial tombs. The ninth prince's draconic providence is about to reach the fourth prince's. a member said in a deep tone. On the other side, the ninth prince and the other members were also surprised and excited, but they didn't know why. Why did so many dragon jades descend on the ninth prince? But then, the dragon-winged eagles all flew to Zhao Feng's side and vanished. Brother Zhao, the ninth prince's heart shook slightly. He didn't expect Zhao Feng to have prepared something like this for him. Now that his draconic providence was extremely close to the fourth prince's, it wasn't as if he didn't have the ability to fight back. The ninth prince's blood started to shake. Zhao Feng had a calm expression. One of the 10 dragon-winged eagles had died while collecting draconic providence. The fourth prince saw all of this and didn't say anything. Even though the ninth prince's draconic providence had increased because of the 9 dragon jades, he wasn't scared. Someone behind the fourth prince exclaimed, "There's still more dragon jades." Immediately, everyone's eyes looked into the distance. The fourth prince's expression changed slightly. This time, it wasn't the dragon-winged eagles that flew over. It was several other flying beasts. Ding, ding, bam. 3 dragon jades landed on the ninth prince's body, and the draconic light behind him grew by a few more feet. It was the same as the fourth prince's draconic light. They were both 24 feet tall. These 3 flying beasts were sent out by Zhao Feng in the beginning, so they had collected slightly more draconic providence. Let's end this. The fourth prince's deep voice sounded as he slashed down with his sword. The ninth prince's draconic providence was the same as his. However, the fourth prince still had the absolute advantage in strength. A golden sword light that was like an ancient golden dragon charged toward the ninth prince. Roar, roar. When this sword descended, 2 flying demonic beasts in the distance threw out the dragon jades in their claws and smashed them onto the ninth prince. There should have been 3 flying beasts, but one of them met with an accident while collecting draconic providence. Bam! Limitless draconic providence and lightning spread. The ninth prince's sword unleashed a peerless power that destroyed the fourth prince's attack. Good, this is more interesting. The fourth prince's battle intent burned. Right now, the ninth prince's draconic providence was much more than his. However, the fourth prince was very strong, and he had the support of the other members behind him. His battle power was still slightly higher than the ninth prince's. Roar! Just as the fourth prince finished speaking, a loud and clear bird cry resounded in the sky. His heart suddenly trembled. Chapter 995. The fourth prince wasn't the only one whose heart shook. The members behind him were also shocked. Shua, a normal-looking black eagle, radiating a heavy ancient aura, threw down a piece of dragon jade. It glowed brightly like a ball of white light. This eagle was a Yao spirit that Zhao Feng had enslaved in the ancient dream realm. Because it was a product of the ancient dream realm, it had a huge advantage in this dimension. It could enter all kinds of dangerous places and collect draconic providence. This was why this piece of dragon jade contained the most draconic providence. Boom! The draconic light behind the ninth prince's back grew even brighter, and the roar of a dragon sounded. A giant golden dragon of lightning slowly rose behind him, and its aura became stronger. The ninth prince's team was extremely excited. The rise after being suppressed made their blood boil, and they had the urge to fight with all their strength. 8 yards. One of the members behind the fourth prince exclaimed in shock. How is this possible? Zhuge Yun's voice was deep and filled with doubt. This was already the 15th piece of dragon jade. They had seen Zhao Feng take 10 pieces of dragon jade from the 3 princes when he was attacking cities. It was very likely that Shan Jizi, who specialized in arrays, had made the teleportation array within the dragon jade lose its effect, which was why these dragon jades were still here. However, even then, the number of dragon jades didn't make sense. Furthermore, the amount of draconic providence contained within the dragon jade that the black eagle had just left behind was extremely high. Even if Zhao Feng had gotten the dragon jade back then and told the beast to collect draconic providence, he wouldn't have been able to collect so much. There were too many suspicious points. 8 yards of draconic light, 6 yards more than the fourth prince. Sacred Lord, 10,000, lightning murmured. Even if the ninth prince had 6 yards more draconic providence than the fourth prince, the ninth prince didn't have much of an advantage. Firstly, there was a big difference between the two princes themselves. Secondly, the difference between the members behind the two princes was even bigger. And it immediately, Zhuge Yun's voice sounded in the minds of everyone on the fourth prince's team. These variables, from attacking cities and seizing lands, to moving mazes, to the final battle for the Grand Seal. All of these variables were because of Zhao Feng. Furthermore, this variable was so great that it was enough to turn the situation around. Zhuge Yun looked at Zhao Feng's expressionless face and suddenly lost his confidence. The Grand Seal is mine. The fourth prince raised the dragon-patterned golden sword high up, summoning all the dragon luck chi. At the same time, there were numerous heaven and earth signs around him, all of which were the protective and supportive abilities of his subordinates. Who? The fourth prince charged out, and the invisible dragon providence in the surroundings danced in the air. Tongue! The ninth prince also soared into the sky. At this moment, his dragon providence had surpassed the fourth prince's, so he wasn't afraid at all. Ding! The two swords clashed, and lightning and golden light shook the heaven and earth. Above the two of them, 2 golden dragons could be vaguely seen roaring and fighting each other. Brother, you really surprised me. The fourth prince's face darkened. Only after fighting seriously with the ninth prince did he realize that the ninth prince's control over his draconic providence had reached an extremely precise level. Furthermore, the ninth prince's attacking style was also extremely profound. How is this possible? The experts behind the fourth prince exclaimed in their hearts. The ninth prince was only 6 feet taller than the fourth prince, but he was able to fight on par with the fourth prince. One had to know that the fourth prince was a sacred lord, and the ninth prince was only close to a quasi-sacred lord. Brother fourth prince, you've always been my goal to surpass. The ninth prince's eyes twinkled, and his blood boiled. The special support that Zhao Feng had given him allowed him to have extremely precise control over everything he did. This was why he could control the draconic providence as he pleased and make up for the difference in cultivation between him and the fourth prince. Furthermore, by observing the fourth prince's actions, he could even predict the fourth prince's moves and find a way to counter them. The ninth prince's battle power seems to have instantly increased. Olding was slightly surprised. He understood the ninth prince very well, so he could obviously tell that the ninth prince's moves were unique and could counter the fourth prince to a certain extent. Zhao Feng, you're really good. Shi Yulei finally praised Zhao Feng at this moment. Now that the situation had changed, the ninth prince had at least a 50% chance of becoming the crown prince. At this moment, tempestuous waves rose in the great Qian dynasty. Countless experts and forces couldn't believe what they were seeing. The ninth prince, who was ranked 7th in overall strength, was able to fight against the fourth prince and was on par with him. Many experts questioned the method that Zhao Feng used to collect draconic providence. First of all, it was a big problem to collect so many dragon jades. Secondly, the beast tamer wouldn't be able to control the beasts that collected draconic providence, so there was an 80% chance of accidents happening. Furthermore, wiping out the teleportation array within the dragon jades was a problem as well. Normal array masters would need to spend a long time to destroy the array within the dragon jades without damaging them. However, Zhao Feng had solved all the problems perfectly. Fourth prince. 2 sacred lords suddenly stepped out from behind the fourth prince. Even they couldn't accept the reality in front of them. They were the strongest group. The fourth prince had to win. Wang, sacred lord 10,000 lightning, and the other sacred lord immediately circulated their secret techniques and sent out a large amount of profound mystic light sacred power. Sacred lord 10,000 lightning's energy was even more condensed, and it had a crystalline quality to it. This was a technique unique to Sky Suspension Palace. The fourth prince and the ninth prince's battle was close to the late stages of the mystic light realm. Normal experts wouldn't be able to help much apart from using some supportive secret techniques. However, Mystic Light Realm Sacred Lords were different. They could send out a large amount of refined mystic light sacred power. Wang, the fourth prince, felt the sacred power within his body surge endlessly. But there was one flaw. It was too chaotic. However, this was enough. Ding! Boom! The fourth prince released a powerful surge of energy with every movement as he released his mystic light sacred power. Bam! The ninth prince's hands trembled slightly as he blocked one of the fourth prince's attacks, and the defensive technique that Sure Yulei put on instantly crumbled. Mystic light, sacred power, the ninth prince murmured. Right now, he was still using True Yuan. This was the huge difference between him and the fourth prince. Otherwise, he would have been able to easily defeat the fourth prince with just the extra 6 feet of draconic light. Zhao Feng, where's that Yao bird from the very beginning? Zhou Su were asked with surprise. She remembered that Zhao Feng could fly when they first arrived at the imperial tombs, and he even let out an ancient Yao bird. After extorting the dragon jades, he started to collect draconic providence from the beasts. What? There are more beasts? Old Ying's expression changed, and joy appeared in his eyes. If he had another piece of dragon jade, it would be able to make up for the difference in cultivation between the fourth prince and the ninth prince. Not good, fourth prince, hurry up and finish it. Sacred Lord 10,000 Lightning's expression changed dramatically as he messaged. The conversation between Zhou Su, Old Ying, and company wasn't through spiritual sense, so they could hear it clearly. He and the other Sacred Lord immediately increased the amount of sacred power they used. The fourth prince had a solemn expression. He obviously heard the conversation between Zhou, Old Ying, and company as well. Lose. The air around the fourth prince started to tremble as all the draconic light retracted back into the golden sword. He poured as much mystic light, sacred power, into the inheritance sacred weapon in his hand. Ding! Wang, the golden dragon pattern longsword, seemed to be unable to withstand the earth-shattering power, and it trembled and cried out. Golden dragon, sacred slash. The fourth prince gripped the sword with both hands and slashed out. Wang boom! A beam of golden white light that seemed to be able to split heaven and earth apart shot over with a powerful sword aura. Everything in its path was destroyed, and even space itself started to twist. Not good, ninth prince, Olding exclaimed. The power of the fourth prince's sword surpassed the attacks of normal late-stage mystic light realm cultivators. He's gathered the mystic light sacred power of 3 sacred lords. Sure Yulei's voice trembled. Furthermore, the mystic light sacred power that the 2 sacred lords behind the fourth prince had sent out had been refined through a special method. It's coming. Zhao Feng's eyes flashed as he murmured softly. However, at this moment, everyone's attention was attracted by the fourth prince's all-out attack. The power of that attack was enough to cover everything. Only the ninth prince felt a strong surge of draconic providence approaching him. Absorb! Before the dragon jade even got close to the fourth prince, he forcefully circulated a secret technique of the imperial family and absorbed the draconic providence within it. Wang boom! When the earth-shattering golden dragon slammed into the ninth prince, a deafening dragon roar also exploded. The draconic light behind the ninth prince's back became even brighter. 80 yards, 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 5 feet. Boom! The power of draconic providence surrounded the ninth prince's body, and an ancient green sword of lightning with peerless draconic providence swept out. Boom! The killing blow that was closing in on him suddenly shattered. A limitless dragon might spread out from the ninth prince's body. Plop! The fourth prince, who had just unleashed his full power and thought that he would definitely win, was instantly pushed back several dozen yards and fell onto the ground. At this instant, the ninth prince's power had completely surpassed his. The fourth prince found it strenuous just to resist the pressure of this will. Boom! The ninth prince slashed out and shattered the pseudo-crown prince seal behind the fourth prince. Wang, the pseudo-crown prince seal in his hand, instantly released limitless golden light. Countless golden lines flashed on the small golden seal. Countless golden draconic light surrounded it, and a surge of sacred power started to brew within the dragon's seal. Grand seal form. The transparent elder instantly flashed with a white light. At the same time, a giant white array appeared on the stone steps and the battleground. Wong, the next instant, the two princes and their team members returned to the Great Gone Imperial Palace. The Crown Prince trial had officially ended. The Great Gone Imperial Palace was dead silent for a moment before it exploded with a boom that shook heaven and earth. The ninth prince actually won. I didn't even see the reversal at the end. What happened? I only saw the ninth prince's draconic light increase dramatically. Because the scene was rather blurry, coupled with the fourth prince's peerless brilliance and phenomenon, almost no one could clearly see how the ninth prince had won. In the main hall, the other princes who had already left were still in a daze. The ninth prince won against fourth brother. The seventh prince didn't dare to believe it. How is this possible? The ninth prince won. Damn it, that Zhao Feng. The 13th prince's body trembled, and his expression became fierce. Great! Ninth prince Zhao Feng. Duke Nanfeng stood up and clapped his hands. The forces of the Lord Dynasty and Cloud Sky City were shocked, and the forces were angry and angry. Many experts and princes sighed unwillingly. No one noticed that in an inconspicuous corner there was a strange and evil killing intent hidden. I didn't expect it to be the ninth prince. Chapter 996. The ninth prince, the fourth prince, and the other members of the group appeared in the air above the stone disk. The instant the crown prince seal appeared, it started to stir the draconic providence nearby. Then, the faint light on the ancient stone plate slowly dimmed, and the white light screen around it also disappeared. Whoosh! The stone disk turned into a streak of light and returned to the main hall of the Imperial Palace. The Crown Prince trial has ended. The ninth prince will be the Crown Prince for now. A voice sounded in the depths of the hall. I didn't expect the winner to be my ninth prince, Zihong. The Sacred Emperor was still slightly surprised. He had wanted to help his 13th prince, but he had been defeated by the ninth prince. The fourth prince, who was the strongest, had also been defeated by the ninth prince. The Sacred Emperor wasn't even very familiar with his ninth prince. Anger flashed through the Sacred Empress' eyes as she looked at the ninth prince and Zhao Feng. The Crown Prince trial had ended. However, the Great Gone Imperial Palace was even more lively. On the same day, the Imperial Palace hosted the Crown Prince celebration. All the official forces and sects had a certain number of spots to enter the Imperial Palace. The ninth prince was extremely busy at the Crown Prince celebration. The representatives of countless forces in the Lord Dynasty greeted the ninth prince and gave him some gifts. The members of the Imperials who normally looked at the ninth prince with cold eyes welcomed him with a smile. Zihong, I already knew that you would amaze the world with a single brilliant feat. An elder of the Imperials immediately went up and said, Congratulations, brother ninth prince. No, I should call you the Crown Prince now. The seventh prince went up and gave a toast. Even the other princes had to greet the ninth prince. Maybe the ninth prince would be the one to ascend to the throne in the future. The other princes would have to listen to him if they wanted to survive in the Imperials. Apart from a ninth prince, the busiest person in this celebration was the forces that supported him and those that supported him in becoming the Crown Prince. At this moment, some of the representatives of the Sher family were so happy that they couldn't close their mouths as they greeted the other forces. The rise of the Sher family was destined. Brother Sher, your performance in the Crown Prince trial is truly admirable. A genius from a big force greeted Sher Yulei warmly. On the other side, Grand Duke Lan's palace, where Su Qingling was, walked with the other representatives. Many people even mentioned Su Qingling's marriage. Even though Zhao Feng had just entered the continent zone, his reputation wasn't very good, and the number of forces he knew could be counted on one hand. But at this moment, there were still countless experts from the major forces who took the initiative to befriend him. After all, everyone could see that the ninth prince was able to become the crown prince because of Zhao Feng's help. Moreover, Zhao Feng's own strength was also astonishing, and he had his own forces to manage. Zhao Feng, You're really something. Xian Wuheng walked over with a smile. I was just lucky. Zhao Feng smiled and avoided some of the people he didn't know as he walked toward Xian Wuheng. Brother Zhao, you're too humble. Xian Wuheng shook his head. This time, the fourth prince had been completely defeated by Zhao Feng. He had been defeated by the last 16 pieces of dragon jade. Xian Wuheng had done some research on arrays, but he wasn't confident that he could erase the teleportation array inside without damaging the dragon jade. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's idea of collecting Draconic Providence must have started from the very beginning. From this, one could see how far he had thought. Brother Xian, you're joking. Zhao Feng didn't deny it. In reality, Zhao Feng didn't know anything about arrays. However, GoldenEye's ability, partial disintegration, could perfectly solve this problem. As long as he could determine the location of the teleportation array and use the partial disintegration ability to destroy the structure of the array would stop working. This would be difficult for some array masters, but it was a small matter for Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng, congratulations. Tai Litian, who was wearing a red robe, slowly walked over. Although the fourth prince that the Tai family supported had lost to Zhao Feng, the fourth prince's performance was enough to make them pay attention to him. However, Zhao Feng's performance was enough to make them pay attention to him. The Tai family's original plan was to forcefully bring Zhao Feng back to the Tai family after the Crown Prince trial ended. But now, they came to congratulate him. Zhao Feng, you've shined this time. Duke Nanfeng also smiled and congratulated. Originally, he had only wanted to return a favor to Zhao Feng. He had not expected that the ninth prince would actually become the Crown Prince. This made Duke Nanfeng feel like he owed another favor before he had even repaid his debt. After dealing with many people, Zhao Feng came to the side of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Grand Elder, Bai Qingwei said happily. The Ocean Smoke Pavilion was already a 3-star force, and now that the ninth prince had won, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion became even more powerful. The Ocean Smoke Pavilion had become the undisputed overlord of the coast. Adding on the protection of the dynasty's draconic providence, Bai Qingwei believed that she could make the Ocean Smoke Pavilion reach Zhao Feng's expectations even faster. After the celebration, you can go back first. In the continent zone, Zhao Feng still had some matters to attend to, so he couldn't leave. Although Bai Qingwei was slightly disappointed, she immediately revealed a warm smile. Zhao Feng asked about the Ocean Smoke Pavilion and the development of the assassination forces. At the same time, he took out most of his resources and gave them to Bai Qingwei. The assassination forces had just started, and the Ocean Smoke Pavilion's foundation couldn't compare to some of the older forces. If they wanted to develop quickly, they needed a large amount of resources. This was also why Zhao Feng didn't strengthen his bloodline in the Heaven's Legacy City. Also, send all the information about the owner of the Eyes of Samsara to me, Zhao Feng suddenly said. In the corner, Chen'er, don't give up. You're still too young, and you can't compare to your brother in terms of experience. The authoritative male comforted the 13th prince. I just don't want to accept this. Why was the 9th prince the crown prince? The 13th prince said in a small voice. He did indeed become the crown prince, but I don't know if he can sit there stably. The authoritative male revealed a wicked smile and messaged. The 13th prince's expression froze as he looked at his uncle. The position of crown prince isn't that easy to sit on. The authoritative male had a deep gaze. In reality, that was indeed the case. There were still 5 years until the current sacred emperor abdicated. This period of time was the crown prince's inspection period. If the crown prince made any serious mistakes, it would be affected. Father, the 9th prince arrived in front of the sacred emperor. Zihang, your performance this time was very good, the current sacred emperor said with a smile. Many of the imperial uncles nearby also smiled and replied. The celebration continued until the night of the second day. At this moment, the 9th prince could finally go back and rest. Your Highness Crown Prince, I still need to stay at your place for a few more days, Zhao Feng said with a smile. Brother Zhao, where are you going? The 9th prince asked. He didn't mind Zhao Feng staying at his place, but he could tell that Zhao Feng had something important to do. I have something to do. Zhao Feng didn't give a clear answer. He couldn't kill the 13th prince right now. On the other hand, it was impossible for him to meet Zhao Yufei. Furthermore, he needed to find out more about the owner of the Eyes of Samsara. However, he could ask Olding. Although Olding had left the Imperial Skynet, he should still be able to ask some of his connections. Father will probably reward all of you tomorrow. Brother Zhao, please don't miss it. The 9th prince knew that Zhao Feng had once rejected Duke Nanfeng's recommendation to become a count. However, the Sacred Emperor was personally rewarding him this time, so he had to be present. At the same time, the 9th prince took out a golden token. With this token, Zhao Feng could enter the Imperial Palace whenever he wanted. Thank you. Zhao Feng took the token. After all, not just anyone could enter the Imperial Palace. Your Highness Crown Prince. Butler Qi immediately came out to greet the 9th prince. Zhao Feng glanced at Butler Qi, and his left eye suddenly started to twitch. Suddenly, a cold blade appeared in Butler Qi's hand. Whoosh! A translucent black dagger stabbed toward the 9th prince's chest. Butler Qi, The 9th prince had a stunned expression. He didn't have time to defend himself. Furthermore, Butler Qi's sneak attack was as fast as lightning, and it was accompanied by a wicked mystic light, sacred undulation. The 9th prince would die, for sure, even if he tried to defend himself. Butler Qi revealed a wicked and cruel smile, as if the assassination had succeeded. However, in the next instant, Zhao Feng and the 9th prince's figures disappeared with a flash of silver light. Butler Qi's expression turned to shock as his attack missed. The ability to pass through space. Butler Qi's voice was deep. Who? Butler Qi immediately turned around and turned into a streak of dark light that merged into the darkness and quickly retreated. Within the 9th prince's palace, Zhao Feng and the 9th prince suddenly appeared in the room where Zhao Feng had once entered seclusion. Zhao Feng, this is the ability of the misty spatial world. The 9th prince's heart jumped as he looked at Zhao Feng and took a deep breath. Luckily, Zhao Feng's substandard god weapon had saved his life at the critical moment. Zhao Feng had once entered seclusion here and left behind the spatial coordinates. However, why would Butler Qi assassinate him? No, that wasn't Butler Qi. 9th prince, stay here. I'll go take a look. Zhao Feng said before flying away. Before Butler Qi took action, Zhao Feng felt that the real Butler Qi had probably been killed already. He was very surprised. Who would have the guts to enter the Imperial Palace and assassinate the 9th prince or the current crown prince at that? The first person Zhao Feng thought of was the 13th prince. He couldn't rule out the possibility that the 13th prince would do something stupid on impulse. Furthermore, this person is very strong. Zhao Feng quickly flew through the Imperial Palace. When he was teleporting away, he left a mark of the god eye on Butler Qi. However, at this moment, Zhao Feng could only sense a rough direction. This meant that the assassin had already sensed it and used a method to suppress Zhao Feng's mark of the god eye. I didn't expect him to have such an ability. How careless. Butler Qi had a dark and hateful expression as he quickly flew through the maze palace. Some of the patrolling guards couldn't even sense him. Who? Zhao Feng followed the mark of the god eye and chased after him. Who is it? Flying is forbidden in the Imperial Palace. The patrolling guard immediately shouted, Assassin! Zhao Feng suddenly circulated his god eye, and a surge of eye bloodline power appeared in Butler Qi's soul. At this moment, the patrolling guards immediately sensed something. At the same time, they also knew who Zhao Feng was. Assassin! Over there! All the patrolling guards in the Imperial Palace were alerted. Damn it, this brat. Butler Qi's face twisted, and one could faintly see a face covered in black scales. I can't escape anymore. Butler Qi's face was filled with despair and solemnity. He suddenly stopped moving. You meddlesome brat. Let's die together. Butler Qi's voice was low and hateful as he turned around and charged at Zhao Feng. Who? Butler Qi's figure flashed and instantly arrived in front of Zhao Feng. A transparent black dagger ignored the resistance of space and slashed toward Zhao Feng. Chapter 997. Let's die together, you meddlesome brat. Butler Qi looked at Zhao Feng and gritted his teeth in anger. Firstly, the assassination of the crown prince had failed because of Zhao Feng. Secondly, Zhao Feng's tracking had completely exposed him. He had never thought that he would fall in the hands of this young martial emperor. Who? Butler Qi's figure flashed and instantly arrived in front of Zhao Feng. His transparent black dagger ignored the resistance of space and slashed toward Zhao Feng. A heaven-grade weapon from the Tao of assassination. Zhao Feng's expression changed slightly. The strength that Butler Qi displayed wasn't simple. Sacred lightning protection. An ancient barrier of wind lightning suddenly appeared around Zhao Feng's body as he faced Butler Qi's swift attack. Who? Wang. Butler Qi completely ignored Zhao Feng's defense and circulated his sacred power as he slashed down. Rumble. Boom. Zhao Feng's sacred lightning protection shattered, and a terrifying surge of sacred lightning was pushed back. Wang boom. Butler Qi circulated his mystic light sacred power to protect himself, and the attack continued toward Zhao Feng. What? Zhao Feng's heart shook. The assassin didn't even try to dodge his sacred power, sacred lightning. All he did was circulate his sacred power to block it. Zhao Feng could sense the emotions of this assassin. It seemed like he was ready to die. Wind lightning, eye flame. Zhao Feng felt that the situation wasn't good, so he immediately circulated his left eye and used a soul eye bloodline technique. This assassin had probably been hiding in the imperial palace for a long time and had watched the crown prince trial. He probably knew about Zhao Feng's strength and some of his techniques. Furthermore, the strength that this assassin displayed had reached the early stages of the mystic light realm. Even though Zhao Feng had the sacred lightning body, he wouldn't dare to take this attack head-on. A shocking surge of eye bloodline flames instantly appeared in Zhao Feng's left eye. Golden purple light flowed around it, and dark god tribulation lightning symbols appeared. Boom! A ball of transparent purple and gold lightning fire with the aura of god tribulation lightning landed on the assassin's head. See, the assassin let out a shrill cry. His soul and saint body were suddenly attacked by the power of the thunder tribulation, which made him pause. Xiao! Zhao Feng immediately distanced himself from the assassin. Inside the palace, the majority of the guards were half-step kings or early kings. Only a few squad leaders were great emperors. However, they still did not dare to approach the area where Zhao Feng and the assassin were fighting. If it wasn't for the sturdiness of the palace and the protection of the formation and dragon providence, everything in the vicinity would have been destroyed. Die! In less than half a breath's time, the assassin recovered and attacked Zhao Feng again. As an assassin, he had a certain amount of knowledge regarding the soul. As such, the damage that Zhao Feng's eye technique could inflict on him was limited. Great Qian Imperial Palace, who dares to be so insolent? A deafening roar came from behind and resounded throughout the entire palace. Rumble. The entire palace began to tremble as countless streams of dragon providence rose. The invisible draconic providence merged with the laws of heaven and earth and locked down heaven and earth. Even the air froze. Zhao Feng's movements became stiff and slow, as if he had entered a swamp. His true yuan and bloodline were all greatly suppressed. Who? A golden dragon silhouette appeared above the imperial palace like the radiant light of the sun. A magnificent power filled everything within a few hundred miles, and the terrifying power of draconic providence seemed to materialize as it filled every inch of the air. In an instant, heaven and earth changed, and night became day. Everything in heaven and earth was controlled by the golden figure. What's going on? Tai Hong Nan immediately raised his head and looked into the sky. The sacred king of the great Gan dynasty has taken action. The eyes of the elder from Sky Suspension Palace were grim. The great Gan dynasty forbids the use of force, but the sacred king guarding the great Gan imperial palace has personally taken action. Duke Nanfeng started to feel uneasy. Inside the palace, Many members of the royal family and the experts of the sect were shocked as they sensed the terrifying laws of profundity between heaven and earth. Boom, boom, boom. The thousands of guards around the golden figure immediately knelt down and worshipped the magnificent power and draconic pressure. Boom. Boundless mystic light, sacred power, and draconic providence surged around the assassin's body and instantly formed a pair of golden arms with dragon tattoos on them. The assassin was grabbed by the golden dragon tattooed hands, and he wasn't even able to resist. How dare you offend the Great Gon dynasty? A cold harumph sounded from within the golden figure. Kacha! The golden dragon tattooed hands suddenly squeezed, and the assassin's body shattered, leaving behind a half-transparent black soul that was restrained by limitless laws of sacred power. Rumble. The golden figure glanced at Zhao Feng before disappearing with the surge of draconic providence. The golden light above the palace suddenly disappeared, and heaven and earth returned to normal. You're courting death. How dare you sneak into the imperial palace? The Imperials are invincible within the Great Gon Imperial Palace. That was Sacred King Feather Spirit just now, right? That's a Sacred King expert. Amidst the exclamations, the guards slowly dispersed and returned to their posts. Sacred King. Zhao Feng's heart shook. Those at the peak stages of the mystic light realm could only be called Sacred Kings when their comprehension of the laws of heaven and earth had reached a whole new level. Sacred Kings stood at the peak of the continent, and they were existences only below demigods. Zhao Feng sensed that when the Sacred King descended, he fused his laws and intents into the air to control all things. Furthermore, Sacred Kings controlled limitless draconic providence within the Great Gon Imperial Palace. Even Sacred Kings of the same rank would be crushed. Thank you, Emperor Zhao, for finding traces of the assassin, one of the guards said seriously. Zhao Feng then returned to the Ninth Prince's palace. At this moment, Olding was also at the Ninth Prince's place. Zhao Feng, who was that assassin? The Ninth Prince immediately asked. Something like this hadn't happened in the last several dozen thousand years in the Great Gon Lore dynasty. The appearance of a Sacred King had alerted all the members and forces of the Lore dynasty. It was almost impossible for that assassin to survive. It might be a non-human. Zhao Feng made a precise guess based on some information. Non-humans? The non-humans have snuck into the Great Gon Imperial Palace? The Ninth Prince was surprised. Maybe it was because the Crown Prince trial had activated the Draconic Providence, allowing the non-humans to sneak in. However, the fact that the non-humans had snuck into the inner regions of the Great Gon Lore dynasty seemed to indicate something. No wonder. His target should be the Crown Prince. Olding had a deep gaze. Within the forbidden grounds behind the Imperial Palace, a terrifying surge of soul power spread. Sacred King Feather Spirit reached out and placed his hand on a half-transparent black soul. Boom! This soul suddenly shattered under the powerful soul intent. The non-humans might have already invaded the Great Gon Lord Dynasty. Sacred King Feather Spirit's voice sounded after a while. The flashing balls of light fell silent for a long time. If that's really the case, then the news of the non-humans' invasion should still be on the way. An old sigh sounded. Even if they used teleportation arrays, it would take 5 months to get from the northwestern part of the Great Gon Lore Dynasty to the center. However, if it was just information, it would only take 10 days with the help of a special organization of the Imperials and the teleportation arrays. At this moment, a voice sounded from outside. Reporting to the Grand Emperor, there's news from the northwestern border. Enter. An old voice sounded. A golden piece of paper with dragon patterns on it slowly floated over and landed in Sacred King Feather Spirit's hand. Wung Wung, the dragon rune seal on it immediately disappeared. The non-humans have invaded. A solemn voice sounded in everyone's souls. Chapter 998. Within the Ninth Prince's palace, 3 people sat around a round table. Olding, how much do you know about the eyes of samsara? Zhao Feng asked. With Old Ying's experience, he definitely knew a lot that others didn't. The eyes of samsara have the ability to imprison the souls of the dead and create an undying samsara body. Apparently, this is the power of the samsara of death, and the eyes of samsara have another side, the samsara of life. Olding said in a solemn tone after thinking about it. The eyes of samsara were extremely rare even amongst the descendants of the 8 great god eyes, and they had special abilities. Furthermore, the inheritors of the eyes of samsara rarely appeared on the continent. Therefore, there was very little information regarding the abilities of the eyes of samsara. Olding didn't know much about the samsara of life. There's also the samsara of life? Zhao Feng was slightly surprised. He didn't expect the eyes of samsara to have another side, the power of samsara. Could the samsara of life be the key to finding Lu Qinxin that the sage mentioned? Zhao Feng thought. There aren't any clues regarding the whereabouts of the inheritor of the eyes of samsara. Zhao Feng didn't give up. The inheritor of the 8 great god eyes lived in seclusion in the continent. Even an intelligence organization like the Imperial Sky Net couldn't find any traces of him. Apparently, the inheritor of the eyes of samsara appeared in the Yu province 1,000 years ago. Olding seemed to remember something and suddenly said, in reality, it was hard for the Imperial Sky Net to find traces of a lone traveler like the eyes of samsara. The Great Gonlord dynasty had a lot of territory, and there were many dangerous places with few people. The Tsang Ocean was also out of their reach. Furthermore, the inheritor of the eyes of samsara purposely hid his identity. That was when the Emperor of Death first arrived in the continent zone. Olding said. Olding then told Zhao Feng about the Emperor of Death and the inheritor of the eyes of samsara. Something must have happened between them back then, which is why the eyes of samsara were able to revive the Emperor of Death from so far away. Zhao Feng came to a conclusion. After all, he had killed the Death Emperor in the Tsang Sea. If the eyes of samsara didn't have anything to do with the Emperor of Death, they wouldn't be able to revive the Emperor of Death in the continent zone. Furthermore, even if something had happened between the two, it was incredible that the owner of the eyes of samsara was able to revive the Emperor of Death and his Eye of Death from so far away. This meant that the owner of the eyes of samsara was several levels stronger than the Emperor of Death. Zhao Feng, why are you searching for the eyes of samsara? Olding asked in confusion. In his opinion, there was only one reason why Zhao Feng was searching for an inheritor of the eyes of samsara: revenge. After all, the Emperor of Death had been revived by the eyes of samsara. Without the eyes of samsara's permission, the Emperor of Death couldn't act on his own. However, the strength of the owner of the eyes of samsara wasn't something that Zhao Feng could contend with at his current level. I'm a little interested in the bloodline descendants of the 8 great god eyes. In addition, I want him to help me with something. Zhao Feng's reply made Old Ying's worries disappear. Olding could tell that Zhao Feng's eye bloodline wasn't simple. In this era, the descendants of the 8 great god eyes possessed the strongest eye bloodlines. As for Zhao Feng, he had killed the Emperor of Death, who possessed the Eye of Death, twice. On top of that, Olding had seen Zhao Feng's powerful eye bloodline technique many times. It was extremely rare for other eye bloodlines to have power comparable to the bloodlines of the 8 great god eyes. If you want to find him, I think you will find him. Olding smiled and said, the Emperor of Death, who had been revived by the eyes of samsara, was once again defeated by Zhao Feng. Did the owner of the eyes of samsara not want to see a powerful eye that didn't belong to the 8 great god eyes? Olding was looking forward to Zhao Feng meeting with the eyes of samsara. Brother Zhao, I can help you, the 9th prince said without hesitation. He needed a lot of people and information to find people. The 9th prince was confident that he could help Zhao Feng. Also, Yu province is controlled by the Ji family, right? Zhao Feng thought about the place that Olding just mentioned. I don't know if the Ji family is willing to help you. Otherwise, it'll be too difficult to find a single person in Yu province. Olding sighed. Although the 9th prince had obtained the position of crown prince, it was still unknown if he could successfully ascend to the position of sacred emperor. During this period of time, the other princes would stand against the ninth prince. If something happened to the ninth prince, they would be able to take the position of crown prince again. If the princes stood against the crown prince, then the forces behind them should be the same. The Ji family was the force behind the eighth prince. In the third stage, the moving maze palace, Zhao Feng's actions targeted the 13th prince and the 8th prince. Therefore, the Ji family wouldn't welcome Zhao Feng. That's not for sure. Zhao Feng gave a faint smile. When Zhao Feng and Duan Muqing headed to the center of the continent zone, they met a grand elder of the Ji family, Sacred Lord Star Demon. Since Sacred Lord Star Demon had invited Zhao Feng, he obviously wouldn't reject Zhao Feng just because of the prince's position. Zhao Feng was also very interested in books related to the Ji family's eye bloodline. There should be eye bloodlines in the continent zone that were even stronger than the Purple Star eyes. However, the Ji family was publicly recognized as the strongest eye bloodline family. The power of a family wasn't something that a single individual could compare to. Sacred Lord Star Demon shouldn't have left yet, right? Zhao Feng suddenly said. Zhao Feng, you know Sacred Lord Star Demon? Old Ying's expression turned to surprise. From the looks of it, Zhao Feng had his own methods. This night wasn't going to be peaceful. The patrols in the palace had more people, and they could occasionally feel the auras of special treasures. These treasures probably had the ability to sense or detect non-humans. Zhao Feng could also feel several powerful auras around the ninth prince's hall. In the past, the imperial palace was the safest place in the Great Gone Lord dynasty. Almost no experts would follow the princes within the imperial palace, but tonight was an exception. Many forces had already received the news on the second day. The Tai family and the Yu family had returned immediately, and the other forces could guess some things as well. Within the main hall of the imperial palace, the Sacred Emperor sat on the golden dragon throne in the hall. The princes and the representatives of the Grand Duke's palace stood on both sides of the hall. Zihong, now that you're the crown prince, you need to work even harder on cultivating. At the same time, you need to take care of the politics of the Great Gone Lord dynasty as well. The Sacred Emperor kept on reminding the ninth prince. Today, Zhou Zihong will officially become the crown prince of the Great Gone Lord dynasty. The Sacred Emperor's expression became serious as he wrote down a decree. The contents of the decree would soon spread across the 18 provinces of the Great Gone Lord dynasty. Those who assist the ninth prince will be given the title of count and will be protected by the providence of the Great Gone Lord dynasty. The Sacred King wrote down another decree. The protection of providence meant that their overall strength would increase within the Great Gone Lord dynasty. Furthermore, this providence was ethereal and could affect many things. Generally speaking, it would be good for them. Furthermore, the title of count would allow them to have the territory of several islands. All of this could be discussed in the Great Gone Lord dynasty's organization. Of course, the title of count was the main reward. Other rewards included the 18 provinces, the Great Gone Lord dynasty, and other special organizations. The representatives of each province then reported some matters, and the Sacred Emperor quickly retreated. He didn't mention anything about the non-humans at all. From the looks of it, there shouldn't be much of a problem with the non-humans. In the past 1,000 years, the two Lord dynasties had always been in conflict. Furthermore, there was no point for Zhao Feng to think too much about it. After saying goodbye to the ninth prince, Zhao Feng headed toward the eighth prince's palace. Master, Bai Qingwei and the others from the Ocean Smoke Pavilion were already waiting there. His trip to Yu Province was the same route that the people from the Ocean Smoke Pavilion were taking. Therefore, Zhao Feng used the Dark Heart Seal to send a message to Bai Qingwei. Come with me to visit the Ji family. Interacting with the 8 big families would increase the Ocean Smoke Pavilion's network. The Ocean Smoke Pavilion was an intelligence organization, so this was very important. Little friend Zhao, your eye bloodline techniques have increased in a long time. Sacred Lord Star Demon led the members of the Ji family out of the 8th prince's palace. Ji Wuye, Ji Lan, Ji Dengtian, and company instantly looked at Zhao Feng. Ji Lan had a complicated expression. Zhao Feng had easily defeated her in the divine illusion dimension, and now he had defeated two geniuses of the Ji family from the previous generation in the imperial tombs. Ji Wuye, on the other hand, looked at Zhao Feng with respect. Senior Star Demon, you must be joking. This junior is planning on going to the strongest eye bloodline family on the continent to learn. Last night, the ninth prince had sent someone to greet him, so the people of the Ji family were waiting here for Zhao Feng. The eighth prince and the crown prince were enemies, but Sacred Lord Star Demon didn't show any hostility toward Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng couldn't help but look at him in a different light. Maybe in Sacred Lord Star Demon's eyes, only his eye bloodline and eye bloodline techniques were important. Zhao Feng believed that he would definitely gain something from this trip. The Ji family welcomes any powerful eye bloodline. Sacred Lord Star Demon couldn't help but laugh. Although Zhao Feng didn't display much of his eye bloodline's abilities in the Crown Prince trial, Zhao Feng was still able to sense the power of his eye bloodline. However, Sacred Lord Star Demon, who had been paying attention to this, could see things that others couldn't. These disciples of the Ji family can also learn many things from little friend Zhao. Sacred Lord Star Demon said. These words were obviously said to the people of the Ji family behind him. Although they were the forces behind the eighth prince, their meaning was very clear. Although they were the forces behind the eighth prince, they still had a good relationship with the crown prince on the surface. Therefore, they were told to form a good relationship with Zhao Feng. At the same time, they could learn some things from him. Zhao Feng then left the imperial palace with Sacred Lord Star Demon and company. Within the eighth prince's hall, the eighth prince, Luo Zun, was puzzled. Your Highness, although the ninth prince has become the crown prince, the force behind him and the current situation makes it very hard for him to stabilize his position. Another old man beside him analyzed the situation. His meaning was very clear. The eighth prince didn't need to help the ninth prince, but he should stop the Ji family from interacting with Zhao Feng. He just needed to wait for the right time to take back the position of crown prince. I know what to do. The eighth prince had a calm expression and spoke decisively. Understood. The elder was slightly surprised, but he didn't say anything. As a strategist, he could only give advice. The true leader was still the prince. Luo Zun paused for a moment before understanding what the eighth prince meant. He didn't want to stand against Zhao Feng anymore. If the ninth prince was able to become the crown prince, then why couldn't he become the crown prince with Zhao Feng's help? Chapter 999. 4 months later, Zhao Feng followed Sacred Lord Star Demon to the Ji family of Yu province. The Ji family was located in the middle of a mountain forest. Streams flowed on all sides, and the purple mist was hazy. Without a special secret technique or a disciple of the Ji family leading the way, normal people wouldn't even be able to find the Ji family. This is indeed a paradise. Zhao Feng sighed. The purple mist that floated around the Ji family was not only hazy and beautiful, but it also had a hypnotic effect, causing those who were enjoying the scenery to hallucinate. At the same time, the disciples of the Ji family had a strong resistance against illusions after staying in this environment for a long time. Little friend, Zhao should be here to exchange eye bloodline techniques, right? Sacred Lord Star Demon said with a smile. Although he had used the Ji family's eye bloodline to invite Zhao Feng was here. But now that Zhao Feng was here, he naturally couldn't unconditionally open the Ji family's treasury to Zhao Feng. In other words, even Zhao Feng would have to take out some precious eye bloodline techniques, such as his mysterious eye bloodline technique. This junior is here to learn from you. Zhao Feng smiled awkwardly. He knew that Sacred Lord Star Demon was very interested in his ability to disintegrate. Zhao Feng also knew that the ability of his left eye was very unique. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to cheat in the Maze Palace. Zhao Feng obviously wasn't willing to reveal his disintegration technique. Even if he did, there probably wasn't any eye bloodline in the continent zone that could use it. The golden ripple was created by the mysterious golden ball, and the Heaven's Legacy race automaton judged it to be the light of dispersion. This was the first time Zhao Feng had heard of the light of dispersion, and he didn't know much about it. It was best if he didn't reveal it. Little friend Zhao is too humble. No one in the younger generation of the G family is your match. Sacred Lord Star Demon's expression changed slightly. Zhao Feng's unwillingness to pay made him somewhat displeased. Even if Zhao Feng's eye bloodline technique was very precious, could it compare to the Ji family's collection? Jilan and Ji Wuye couldn't help but lower their heads when they heard this. Ji Dengtian and Ji Bai's expressions darkened. Not only the younger generation of the Ji family, even the previous generation of the Ji family was not a match for Zhao Feng. Also, there's another reason why I'm here. I need your help with something. Zhao Feng thought for a while and said directly, "What is it? Tell me about it." Sacred Lord Star Demon's expression remained the same. He thought that Zhao Feng came to the Ji family to learn the eye technique. He didn't expect that Zhao Feng had other matters to attend to. "I want to get some information about someone in Yuzhou." Zhao Feng spoke bluntly. "Oh, alone." Sacred Lord Star Demon and the other members of the Ji family revealed curious expressions. With Zhao Feng's status in the force behind the Ninth Prince, Olding, and Zhao Feng's own intelligence network, this person was definitely not simple. "The inheritor of the eyes of Samsara," Zhao Feng said calmly. The other members of the Ji clan were shocked. The person Zhao Feng wanted to find was the inheritor of one of the 8 great god eyes. They had heard about the eyes of Samsara before. Several thousand years ago, they had appeared on the continent and then disappeared. Sacred Lord Star Demon's expression paused for a moment before he spoke. "I can help you with this. Thank you very much," Zhao Feng said with a faint smile. The group soon arrived at the Ji family. Sacred Lord Star Demon led Zhao Feng into the inner part of the Ji family. "Little friend Zhao, since you're looking for someone, why don't you stay at the Ji family for now?" Sacred Lord Star Demon said. "Then I'll be troubling you." Zhao Feng immediately agreed. Finding someone wasn't something that could be done in just 1 or 2 days. Furthermore, he obviously couldn't use his superhuman browsing abilities to browse through the Ji family's eye bloodline technique collection. If he did, it would take longer, but Zhao Feng didn't mind. "Jilan, arrange a place for little friend Zhao and his friends to stay," Sacred Lord Star Demon ordered before disappearing into the purple mist. "Thank you," Zhao Feng said courteously. Jilan then led Zhao Feng, by Qingyue and company, to a beautiful garden. "Everyone can stay here for now." Jilan left after saying that. "Master, Qingyue thinks that Sacred Lord Star Demon should know something about the eyes of Samsara." Bai Qingyue spoke after Jilan left. "I can see that." Zhao Feng's expression became grim. However, there was nothing he could do if Sacred Lord Star Demon wasn't willing to say it. Before leaving, Zhao Feng would ask again and try to get some information from Sacred Lord Star Demon. "All of you can stay here for now. If you have time, you can walk around and get to know some of the upper echelon members of the Ji family." Zhao Feng walked into a room after giving the order. Jilan came by herself the next morning. "Zhao Feng, Sacred Lord Star Demon invites you." Jilan then led Zhao Feng to a secret hall in the forest. "Come in." Sacred Lord Star Demon's voice sounded from within the hall. Jilan's heart jumped. If Sacred Lord Star Demon said that they could all come in, that meant that she could go in as well. This was Sacred Lord Star Demon's personal residence, and some of Sacred Lord Star Demon's personal treasures were even more precious than the family's. They might even be able to see Sacred Lord Star Demon's incomplete eye bloodline technique. The interior of the hall was dim, and the layout was simple. "These are all my personal treasures. Little friend Zhao can look through the bookshelves on the left, but you'll have to stop at the ones on the right," Sacred Lord Star Demon said arrogantly. Although there were only 2 rows of bookshelves here, the contents recorded inside were all rare in the outside world. Zhao Feng glanced at the bookshelves on the right. There was a white screen in front of the bookshelves, and runes of different colors flowed on the screen. Zhao Feng didn't say anything and started to look through the contents on the bookshelves on the left. "You can take a look as well," Sacred Lord Star Demon said to Jilan. With Sacred Lord Star Demon's permission, Jilan immediately flipped through the books with Zhao Feng. However, Every single book here contained an incomparably vast amount of knowledge. It would take a while just to memorize all of them in a short period of time. Zhao Feng casually took out a book that explained the principles behind eye bloodline techniques. If Zhao Feng had been able to read this book when he first started learning eye bloodline techniques, his mastery of eye bloodline techniques would have increased by leaps and bounds. From the looks of it, Sacred Lord Star Demon's personal treasures are indeed all precious eye bloodline techniques. Zhao Feng was slightly surprised. Although the contents of these books couldn't be compared to the Xie Yang book in the ancient god's mysterious palace, these books were all related to eye bloodlines. However, these books were all about eye bloodlines and were extremely useful to Zhao Feng. Ordinary great emperors would need 2 hours to memorize the contents of each book. Although Zhao Feng could directly absorb the contents into his left eye, Sacred Lord Star Demon and Jilan were present, so he had to memorize them as he read. He couldn't show off too much. I wonder if there's any progress in finding the inheritor of the eyes of Samsara? Zhao Feng asked as he browsed through a book. Actually, the inheritor of the eyes of Samsara came to the Ji family several thousand years ago. Sacred Lord Star Demon said something that surprised even Ji Lan this time. Even she didn't know about this, even though she was a disciple of the Ji family. Zhao Feng paused for a moment. He didn't expect Sacred Lord Star Demon to answer his casual question. From the looks of it, there were too many outsiders present, so Sacred Lord Star Demon didn't say anything. At that time, he also came to read the Ji family's eye bloodline techniques, and he even left behind some of his eye bloodline techniques and theories. Sacred Lord Star Demon revealed even more secret information: the eye bloodline techniques and theories of the eyes of Samsara. Zhao Feng was slightly surprised. The eye bloodline techniques and theories of the eyes of Samsara were similar to the dark eye secret technique that Zhao Feng had obtained from Duan Muqing. However, there was no doubt that the inheritor of the eyes of Samsara had left behind something even more precious. However, the Ji family doesn't know much about him. He might still be in Yu Province. Sacred Lord Star Demon added. Thank you, Senior Star Demon, for telling me. Zhao Feng clasped his hands in thanks. Not only did Sacred Lord Star Demon tell Zhao Feng about his personal stash, he also told Zhao Feng such secret information. The things he left behind are on the bookshelf to your right. Sacred Lord Star Demon revealed a cunning smile. Zhao Feng smiled helplessly and immersed himself into the book in his hand. On the other side, Jilan didn't care about Zhao Feng's presence at all. She focused on memorizing as much information as she could so that she could comprehend it when she returned. Time passed by, and the light became dimmer, but the two in the room didn't notice anything. All right, this old man is going to rest. Jilan, take little friend Zhao back. Sacred Lord Star Demon's voice sounded from the room next door. Understood. Jilan couldn't bear to put the book in her hand back on the bookshelf. Young Sir Zhao, please leave with me. Jilan looked at Zhao Feng and didn't have the complicated emotion she had before. If it wasn't for Zhao Feng, she wouldn't have been able to read Sacred Lord Star Demon's personal stash. She had to thank Zhao Feng. One had to know that even Jiwuye, Sacred Lord Star Demon's disciple, had only been here for one day. Why are you looking for the eyes of Samsara? Jilan asked on the way. The last time the eyes of Samsara appeared was 1,000 years ago. Logically speaking, it was impossible for Zhao Feng to have anything to do with it. The eyes of Samsara can help me find an important person. Zhao Feng replied simply. Oh, Jilan nodded. She seemed to understand, but not really. At this moment, 3 members of the Ji family walked toward them. Jilan, you're back. One of them was a handsome young man with purple hair. His face was filled with excitement as he walked over. And I just came back. Jilan revealed a helpless expression. This is... Jillian looked at Zhao Feng with unfriendliness. The 2 members of the Ji family behind him looked at Zhao Feng and revealed expressions as if they were watching a show. Everyone knew that Jillian loved Jilan, so a beauty like Jilan didn't have any suitors among the younger generation of the Ji family. They didn't expect this outsider to be so close to Jilan. He's a guest of the Ji family, Zhao Feng. Jilin answered honestly. The three members of the Ji family revealed weird expressions. Wasn't Zhao Feng the purple-haired, demonic duo from the divine illusion dimension? He should have been a thief that had stolen many treasures from the Ji family. How did he become a guest of the Ji family and hang out with Jilin? Jilin finally realized something when she saw their expressions. The news of the Crown Prince trial might not have reached their ears yet. Right now, the 18 provinces only knew that the 9th prince had become the Crown Prince in this Crown Prince trial. Zhao Feng, I don't care that you stole the treasures of the Ji family in the divine illusion dimension, but I won't allow you to be so close to Jilin in the future. Jilian's tone changed as he warned Zhao Feng. Chapter 1000. Zhao Feng, I don't care that you stole the Ji family's treasures in the divine illusion dimension, but I won't allow you to be so close to Jilin in the future. Jilian's tone instantly changed. Even though Zhao Feng was a guest of the Ji family, he didn't need to be polite with Zhao Feng. This was the pride of the 8 big families. Jilin paused for a moment and was about to stop Jilian. With Zhao Feng's current status and the force behind him, even the Ji family didn't want to offend him openly. If the 9th prince successfully became the emperor, then the force behind Zhao Feng would become even stronger. They might be able to surpass the Ji family in just a few hundred years. However, Jilin was thinking that Zhao Feng might be able to help her get rid of Jilian. Then I'll be leaving first, Jilin. Zhao Feng's expression didn't change as he said goodbye to Jilin. Jilan's expression changed. She didn't expect Zhao Feng to leave so calmly. She didn't want to face Jilian alone. She was about to say something to Zhao Feng, but she realized that she wasn't familiar with Zhao Feng at all. Zhao Feng glanced at Jilian before leaving. This was the Ji family's territory, and Zhao Feng owed Sacred Lordstar Demon a big favor, so Zhao Feng didn't want to cause trouble. Did you hear what I just said? Jilian's expression became grim as he saw Zhao Feng leave calmly, as if Zhao Feng had completely ignored his words. You don't need to care about my business. Zhao Feng's voice was cold as he continued to leave. What? You? Jilian's face went slightly red. Zhao Feng's words showed that he didn't put him in his eyes at all. Where do you get your freedom in the Ji family? Jilian instantly turned around, and his faint purple eyes released a ripple of eye bloodline power. No! Jilin immediately stopped him. He didn't expect Jilian to attack. However, it was too late. The eye bloodline technique only lasted for an instant. A layer of invisible chains made of purple mist appeared around Zhao Feng. However, Zhao Feng still walked away slowly, as if he wasn't affected at all. Jilian's face was ashen, even though he wasn't a diligent cultivator. However, he had already made his move, yet there was no effect at all. Beside him, there were a few other disciples of the same age watching. This caused him to lose all face. Jilian immediately released all of his eye intent. Jilian was an Emperor Realm expert. Although his attainments and ocular techniques were average among the Ji clan's disciples, his ocular technique was enough to imprison a peak Emperor Realm expert in the outside world. Zhao Feng frowned slightly. Although he was not affected by Jilian's eye technique, he was annoyed by Jilian's interference. Even if Zhao Feng leaves today, there is no guarantee that Jilian will not come looking for trouble next time. After all, Zhao Feng will be staying at Ji family for a period of time. Zhao Feng suddenly turned around, and a purple golden luster appeared in his left eye, which extended into a bottomless abyss that exuded a fatal attraction. In an instant, Jilian's illusion collapsed. What? Jilian's eyes twitched, and he instinctively looked at Zhao Feng's eyes. In the next instant, Jilian arrived at a purple maze. The maze was covered in thick fog, and wind and lightning boomed above. Jilian, what's wrong? A Ji clan disciple beside Jilian noticed that Jilian was standing there like a fool, not moving at all. Jilian didn't react to their words at all. The two tried to use various eye techniques, but there was no effect. What did you do to Jilian? The two disciples panicked. From this scene, they could obviously see Zhao Feng's strength. Even so, Zhao Feng dared to make a move against Jilian. he was destined to suffer. Zhao Feng turned around and left, ignoring them. At this moment, Jilan also left with Zhao Feng. You didn't do anything to him, right? Jilan looked at Zhao Feng with lingering fear in her heart. Even with her mastery in illusions, she was still very surprised. What kind of illusion did Zhao Feng use to have such an effect on a disciple of the Ji family? One had to know that the disciples of the Ji family had the purple star eyes, and they were mostly immune to illusions. Adding on the fact that the disciples of the Ji family specialized in Soul Dao illusions, they would definitely be able to break through it easily. He will recover in a while, Zhao Feng said after thinking about it. The illusion just now was a new technique that Zhao Feng had created by combining the Eye of Illusion and the Purple Star Days that he had secretly learned from Sacred Lord Star Demon Seeker Hall. Not only could it drag the enemy's consciousness into its own illusion dimension, but it could also change the enemy's five senses and divine sense, creating the illusion that it was real and making the enemy fall into an illusion. Normal people would know that everything in front of them was fake when they fell into an illusion, so they would be able to break free. However, what if the person who fell into the illusion thought that everything around them was real? Of course, the illusion just now was just Zhao Feng's first attempt. He needed to read more books on illusions and eye bloodline techniques in order to perfect it. Zhao Feng felt that he needed to pick up the Soul Dao illusions that he had left behind in the past. Oh, Jilan nodded her head. Although she knew that Zhao Feng's eye bloodline techniques were powerful, she didn't expect him to have such high mastery in illusions as well. But you need to be careful of Jilian. He might come looking for trouble again. Jilan warned, but she immediately felt that there was no need. Sacred Lord Star Demon had invited Zhao Feng, and adding on Zhao Feng's own strength, it would be hard for Jilian to do anything to Zhao Feng. Even the upper echelon of the Ji family behind Jilian wouldn't make things difficult for Zhao Feng for Jilian. Zhao Feng started to comprehend what he had read today after returning to his residence. He also split a part of his consciousness to cultivate the 10,000 divine thoughts technique and comprehend the intent of destruction within the God Tribulation Lightning. The Tao of Illusions had two main paths of development. The first was the Tao of Illusions, which affected the soul to a certain degree. The second was the Tao of Illusions, which used illusions as a supplement to other attacks. However, most of the disciples of the Ji family chose the path of illusions. The understanding of illusions in the Ji family's collection is definitely the best in the continent. Zhao Feng sighed in his heart. He still remembered that Meng Shi from the Thousand Darkness Sacred Clan had the bloodline of the Nightmare race, which was ranked 339th among the 10,000 ancient races. She could use illusions to affect reality. This was a special ability of the 10,000 ancient races, but could also be considered illusions. If one cultivated the Tao of illusions to a certain level, they might also have the power of the 10,000 ancient races. Master, Bai Qingyue's voice sounded nearby. What is it? Zhao Feng could communicate with Bai Qingyue through the Dark Heart Seal. If Master wants to study the Tao of illusions, you can go to the Ji family's Purple Star Tower. Bai Qingyue suggested. The Ji family's Purple Star Tower was famous across the continent for cultivating the soul and illusions. Many disciples of the Ji family used their family contribution points to exchange for time to enter the Purple Star Tower. However, she believed that Zhao Feng definitely didn't know about the Purple Star Tower. Purple Star Tower. Zhao Feng paused for a moment. He really didn't know about this. Bai Qingyue then told Zhao Feng about the Purple Star Tower. In the morning of the second day, Ji Lan arrived once again. Zhao Feng, Sacred Lord Star Demon invites you over. The two then went to Sacred Lord Star Demon's private hall and started to comprehend and study just like yesterday. Jilan was extremely excited. She didn't expect that she would still be able to stay here and browse through the precious books with Zhao Feng. At the same time, Jilan could guess Sacred Lord Star Demon's intentions. He wanted to give her a chance to be alone with Zhao Feng. Jilan smiled bitterly. She couldn't deny that any girl would be tempted by a peerless genius like Zhao Feng. However, she didn't have the confidence to make Zhao Feng fall in love with her. Jilan was also very surprised as to why Sacred Lord Star Demon had such high hopes for Zhao Feng. The room became pitch black as the light started to dim. Senior Star Demon, this junior wants to see the contents of the bookshelf on the right. Zhao Feng messaged Sacred Lord Star Demon, who was in the next room. Oh, Sacred Lord Star Demon's figure instantly arrived next to Zhao Feng with anticipation. Zhao Feng handed over the Dark Eye Secret Technique that he had already imprinted to Sacred Lord Star Demon. Dark Eye Secret Technique? The Dark Eye of Death. Sacred Lord Star Demon took the book from Zhao Feng's hands and started to flip through it. Little friend Zhao, this is all about death and the soul. It's a bit vague, but the contents might be very useful to some disciples of the G family. Sacred Lord Star Demon smiled faintly and spoke in a roundabout tone. Zhao Feng smiled. He didn't have much hope in the first place. He was only at the small Origin Core realm when he obtained the Dark Eye Secret Technique. Although the Emperor of Death's mastery in Eye Bloodline techniques was high, it couldn't compare to the strongest Eye Bloodline families in the Continent Zone. It was within Zhao Feng's expectations that Sacred Lord Star Demon didn't care about the Dark Eye Secret Technique. However, he wouldn't reveal the theory behind how Zhao Feng's God Eye was broken down. Then what about the Soul Eye Refining Technique? Zhao Feng thought about it, but didn't take it out in the end. The Soul Eye Refining Technique was the most valuable eye-stealing technique in the Heaven's Legacy City. Furthermore, the eye-stealing technique itself was harmful to the world, and Zhao Feng had the God's spiritual eye. Therefore, Zhao Feng took out the other soul-cultivating technique. Soul-splitting technique? Sacred Lord Star Demon was slightly curious as he took the item from Zhao Feng's hands. Okay. Sacred Lord Star Demon's sudden words scared Jilan quite a bit. What kind of secret technique can make Sacred Lord Star Demon so excited? Jilan's heart started to beat faster, and she admired Zhao Feng even more. Sacred Lord Star Demon closed the book in his hands after a long time and said with a smile, "Little friend Zhao has 3 days to enter the bookshelf on the right." Zhao Feng smiled faintly. Although the soul-splitting technique only had the first level of the skill, the thought process of this skill was extremely bold and it could topple tradition. Furthermore, the automatons in the Heaven's Legacy City had a very high evaluation of this technique. Zhao Feng believed that Sacred Lord Star Demon was someone with good eyes. Jilan was stunned. In her memory, the bookshelf on the right of Sacred Lord Star Demon had only been opened to one person. There were very few books inside, but they were all extremely valuable and rare on the continent. Also, if little friend Zhao wants to perfect the soul-splitting technique, there might be something you need inside. Sacred Lord Star Demon reminded Zhao Feng before leaving. In another luxurious palace of the Ji family, great-grandfather, Zhao Feng made a move against me and made Lian lose all face. Ji Lian knelt in front of a hall. "You've lost face for the Ji family." A hazy and old voice sounded out of nowhere. Yes, Lianer knows that he was wrong, but that Zhao Feng. Ji Lian's heart jumped as he continued to speak. He's a guest that Sacred Lord Star Demon brought over. The old voice stopped Ji Lian's words. Ji Lian instantly paused. Disappointment flashed through his eyes, and he didn't say anything else. However, the Ji family is the force behind the 8th prince. Sacred Lord Star Demon didn't discuss it with me before befriending the force behind the 9th prince. The old voice sounded once more. Chapter 1001. At this point in time, the white barrier in front of the bookshelf on the right had disappeared. Zhao Feng stepped in, and Jilan's heart jumped. Although the barrier was gone, she didn't dare to enter without Sacred Lord Star Demon's permission. Zhao Feng picked up a random book and started to flip through it. Analysis of Fire Eye Bloodline Techniques. Zhao Feng paused for a moment. Most of the books on the left were related to the Tao of Illusions, and they were useful for the purple star eyes of the Ji family. On the right, there were all kinds of eye bloodline techniques, as well as some obscure theoretical knowledge. Zhao Feng flipped through the books while looking for something he was interested in. Found it, the Samsara Death Eyes. There weren't many books here, so Zhao Feng soon found what he needed. The eyes of samsara contain the laws of samsara, and they can extract the soul of the dead from the samsara of heaven and earth. They can then be reborn in the samsara of death. Zhao Feng finished reading the book. The eyes of samsara were related to the laws of heaven and earth, and the samsara of death was a unique existence that couldn't be replicated. Therefore, even if there was a detailed analysis of the eyes of samsara's unique eye bloodline techniques, it was almost impossible to use them with other eye bloodlines. In order to revive someone, one must first place a mark of samsara on their body. Zhao Feng understood. The eyes of samsara could only extract a soul that had a mark of samsara on it from the laws of heaven and earth. The power of samsara was everywhere, and its ability to travel through space was extremely strong. It could do it even from several 100 million miles away. This was why the Emperor of Death was able to be revived even though he was far away from the continent zone. Not everyone who dies can be revived through the eyes of samsara. Zhao Feng's expression became dim as he continued to read. The soul that revives from the samsara of death can't enter the body of another. It can only reside in the samsara immortal bodies created by the eyes of samsara. Since the samsara immortal bodies are also created by the samsara of death, they can't die. Zhao Feng was stunned, but he seemed to understand a little. Samsara existed in heaven and earth, and the eyes of samsara were a product of the laws of samsara. This meant that the eyes of samsara had their own world. Everything in the samsara of death was equivalent to leaving this world. The owner of the eyes of samsara was the ruler of the samsara of death. My God, I also seems to have a world. Zhao Feng thought of the ancient dream realm. However, the ancient dream realm wasn't under Zhao Feng's control. Perhaps only when Zhao Feng's god I completely awakened could he become the ruler of that world. In addition, Zhao Feng also thought that there seemed to be a space of death in the eye of death, but he wasn't very clear about its abilities. In other words, the 8 great god eyes and their bloodline inheritances all seem to have their own independent world of laws. Through his detailed understanding of the eyes of samsara and Zhao Feng's knowledge, Zhao Feng's understanding of the eye of samsara was extremely profound. He gained a deeper understanding of the 8 great god eyes. A while later, Zhao Feng finished reading. The entire samsara death eyes introduces the samsara of death, but it only mentions one thing about the samsara of life. After a certain amount of time after death, the samsara of life has a way to reincarnate. Zhao Feng was stunned. As expected, the eyes of samsara had the legendary ability to revive the dead. However, it wasn't a cure, but a way to revive. This method seems to be extremely similar to Lu Qinxin's revival. Zhao Feng softly murmured. Overall, Zhao Feng had a certain understanding of the abilities of the eyes of samsara. If it wasn't necessary, Zhao Feng didn't want to become enemies with the eyes of samsara. After reading through the samsara death eyes, Zhao Feng spent some time reading other books. The rarity of every book here wasn't much different from the samsara death eyes. A while later, Zhao Feng looked at an ancient book in his hand, the Soul Recovery Divine Technique. Before Zhao Feng even saw the contents, the author of the Soul Recovery Divine Technique attracted Zhao Feng's attention. It's actually the author of the 10,000 Divine Thoughts Technique and the Soul Splitting Technique. Zhao Feng finally understood what Sacred Lord Star Demon meant. He just hoped that this book wasn't incomplete as well. Zhao Feng then started to flip through it. So detailed, Zhao Feng exclaimed. This Soul Recovery Divine art wasn't just a cultivation technique. It also contained many cultivation insights and theoretical analysis. This technique could refine the soul, but its main use was to increase the recovery ability of the soul. Just like the body, the soul had a certain recovery ability, and it would only show itself when it was injured. However, the recovery ability of the soul was very slow. Therefore, most people would carry some herbs to heal the soul. This soul recovery divine technique doesn't have much practical use. Zhao Feng evaluated. Even if one cultivated the soul recovery divine technique to the peak, its recovery ability wouldn't be as good as some precious herbs to heal the soul. Furthermore, the requirements for cultivating the soul recovery divine technique were very high. Even those that specialized in the soul might not be able to do it. However, the last line of words attracted Zhao Feng's attention. Cultivating the soul recovery divine technique can increase the success rate of cultivating the soul splitting technique. Zhao Feng had high hopes for the soul splitting technique. Furthermore, after reading through this ancient book, Zhao Feng realized that cultivating the 10,000 divine thoughts technique could increase the effectiveness of the soul recovery divine technique. Looks like the soul splitting technique isn't the continuation of the 10,000 divine thoughts technique. There's another soul recovery divine technique in between. Zhao Feng immediately memorized the contents of the soul recovery divine technique. Luckily, the level of this technique wasn't high. With Zhao Feng's current soul attainment and learning ability, he would be able to cultivate it in no time. Maybe the author thought of the soul-splitting technique first, but found that ordinary people couldn't cultivate it. Then, he created the 10,000 divine thoughts technique and the soul recovery divine technique. Zhao Feng finally understood how precious the soul-splitting technique was. No wonder the mechanical puppet in the Tianji city said that the complete soul-splitting technique was at least a top-tier heaven-grade technique. Before cultivating the soul-splitting technique, one had to cultivate two basic techniques, and the requirements of these two basic techniques were extremely high. For example, Duan Muqing had cultivated the 10,000 divine thoughts technique for thousands of years, but he still hadn't reached a high level. Luckily, Zhao Feng's 10,000 divine thoughts technique was about to reach the peak, and Zhao Feng was confident that he could cultivate the soul recovery divine technique in a short time. Zhao Feng couldn't help but have a better impression of the soul-splitting technique. No wonder Sacred Lord Star Demon was so interested in the soul-splitting technique. Sacred Lord Star Demon must have a certain understanding of the 10,000 divine thoughts technique, and he has the soul recovery divine technique. Zhao Feng couldn't help but wonder if Sacred Lord Star Demon wanted to cultivate the soul-splitting technique as well. Sacred Lord Star Demon's voice sounded when Zhao Feng memorized the contents of the soul recovery divine technique. Looks like little friend learned a lot today. Come back tomorrow. Jilan looked at the bookshelf that Zhao Feng was on and revealed a look of desire. Zhao Feng put down the book in his hand and said humbly, I heard that the Ji family's Purple Star Tower is extremely famous in the continent, and it's extremely helpful for condensing the soul and cultivating illusions. Fine, I'll give you a Purple Star token. A 6-star purple token floated in front of Zhao Feng after saying that. Purple Star token. Jilan was surprised. One had to know that the disciples of the Ji family had to pay a large amount of contribution points to enter the Purple Star Tower, and the time was limited. The Purple Star token was usually given to disciples of the Ji family when they made great contributions or when they participated in competitions. Although the Purple Star token could only enter the Purple Star Tower once, there was no time limit. Thank you, Senior. Zhao Feng took the token and clasped his hands together. Zhao Feng and Jilan then left Sacred Lord Star Demon's private hall. At night, Zhao Feng started to cultivate the 10,000 divine thoughts technique and the soul recovery divine technique at the same time. A technique that can increase the recovery ability of the soul is equivalent to body-strengthening techniques. Zhao Feng estimated that he would be able to reach the peak of the 10,000 divine thoughts technique in just a few months. This was the first time that Zhao Feng had come into contact with the soul recovery divine technique, so his cultivation speed was extremely fast. He reached the 3rd level in just one night. After cultivating the soul recovery divine technique, Zhao Feng realized that his soul had a sliver of indescribable activity. The next morning, Jilan arrived as expected. Zhao Feng, let me take you to the Purple Star Tower. This was actually Sacred Lord Star Demon's order, but Jilan didn't mind. Because of Zhao Feng, she had already borrowed books from Sacred Lord Star Demon's private library for 2 days. However, the number of books she had truly memorized was less than 10. Let's go. Zhao Feng walked out of the room. The Purple Star Tower was the most famous cultivation ground of the Ji family. It was because of the existence of the Purple Star Tower that the disciples of the Ji family were so talented and had a strong foundation in the soul and the Tao of illusions. Some forces from the outside world would use large amounts of resources to exchange for the right to enter the Purple Star Tower of the Ji family. This was also why some of the families of the 8 big families were able to maintain their reputation even though they weren't very strong. The 8 big families all had their own foundations, and they relied on their own abilities to establish good relationships with the forces from the outside world. The Purple Star Tower was located in the center of the Ji family, and many disciples came and went. The news that Zhao Feng had come to the Ji family had spread yesterday. Look, it's Zhao Feng. Jilan wouldn't have fallen for Zhao Feng, right? Impossible. I think that Ji Lian will come and cause trouble for Zhao Feng very soon. The passing disciples discussed animatedly. The senses of experts that specialized in the soul were extremely strong, so Jilan's face went slightly red when she heard this. Compared to Ji Lian, Zhao Feng was indeed much better. Jilan couldn't help but think. Elder, we want to enter the Purple Star Tower. Jilan said to the elders in charge in front of the Purple Star Tower. At the same time, Zhao Feng took out his Purple Star token. A Purple Star token? An elder looked at Zhao Feng with surprise. Only the upper echelon of the family could give a Purple Star token. You can go in now. The two walked into the Purple Star Tower together. Different from Zhao Feng, Jilan was using contribution points from the family. After entering the Purple Star Tower, their vision became blurry. There was only a thick purple mist in front of them. On the ground of the first floor, there was a futon with a disciple sitting on it. The futons on the first floor of the Purple Star Tower were filled with Ji family disciples, and most of them were at the true spirit realm. Chapter 1002. Near where Zhao Feng was staying, Ji Lian, that brat, went to the Purple Star Tower. One of Ji Lian's lackeys jogged to Ji Lian. Ji Qingming, Zhao Feng went to the Purple Star Tower. Ji Lian's eyebrows furrowed. Sacred Lord Star Demon had high hopes for Zhao Feng and gave Zhao Feng the right to enter the Purple Star Tower. Then we'll wait for him outside the Purple Star Tower. The eyes of a middle-aged male in black next to Ji Lian twinkled. In addition, Jilan seems to have gone with Zhao Feng. The lackey said in a small voice. Ji Lian's eyebrows instantly furrowed as flames of anger burned in his heart. Let's go. Ji Lian waved his sleeve and roared in a low tone. He had never been humiliated in the Ji family before, so he obviously wouldn't let Zhao Feng go so easily. Ji Lian's great-grandfather wouldn't attack Zhao Feng just for Ji Lian. Furthermore, no matter what, Zhao Feng was a guest that Sacred Lord Star Demon brought back. However, Ji Lian's great-grandfather told his second disciple, Ji Qingming, to follow Ji Lian. Ji Qingming was a quasi-Sacred Lord expert just below Ji Dangtian. Ji Lian didn't believe that he wouldn't be able to teach Zhao Feng a lesson this time. Ji Qingming, don't be too heavy-handed when the time comes. Ji Lian revealed a deadly smile. Back then, Zhao Feng had made him lose all face in front of Jilan. This time, he was going to make Zhao Feng look even worse in front of Jilan. Otherwise, how else could he make Jilan stay away from Zhao Feng? Within the Purple Star Tower, Zhao Feng and Jilan slowly walked forward. The first floor of the Purple Star Tower was filled with disciples at the true spirit realm. Zhao Feng inspected with his left eye and found that there was a profound array around each cushion. Every corner of the Purple Star Tower has a spatial array that separates it from the outside world. Jilan explained to Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng nodded his head. Without these spatial arrays, he wouldn't be able to cultivate here. On the second floor of the Purple Star Tower, it was still packed with small Origin Core Realm disciples of the Ji family. Zhao Feng and Jilan went all the way up to the 7th floor. The purple fog in front of him was as thick as water, and it filled the entire space. There were a total of 10 prayer mats on the 7th level, but only 6 of them were occupied. One of them was very familiar to Zhao Feng. It was Ji Dangtian. The seventh floor of the Purple Star Tower is suitable for emperors to cultivate. After saying that, Jilan came to a praying mat. Although Jilan's strength had far surpassed ordinary great emperors, she was still a great emperor. However, the eighth floor was a place where mystic light realms cultivated. Unless Jilan's soul had reached the level of the Sacred Lord, she wouldn't even be able to last a breath on the eighth floor. Everyone who entered the Purple Star Tower understood this. The dense purple mist in the air had a hypnotizing effect, and the effect would increase with each layer. As for the eighth level, it was a purple mist that could confuse even Holy Lord powerhouses. Mere emperors naturally wouldn't dare to go up there. Zhao Feng didn't say anything. He found a prayer mat and tried to test its effect. The moment Zhao Feng sat down on the cushion, the scenery around him completely changed. All he could see was endless violet mist, twisting and turning, and he couldn't see anyone. This purple mist seems to be the manifestation of my soul power, and it's controlled by my soul intent. Zhao Feng instantly felt what was unique about the Purple Star Tower. Zhao Feng's soul intent quickly controlled the mist nearby. In a while, Zhao Feng's surroundings turned into a heavy purple maze, and wind and lightning boomed above him. This is the perfect place for experts of the Tao of Illusions to create domains and little worlds. Zhao Feng praised. This place could materialize one's soul power, and it was extremely useful for creating domains and finding flaws in them. At the same time, he could feel that the mist within the prayer mat had an even stronger effect on the soul. This mist would only create illusions and increase mental energy pressure, but it did have the effect of refining the soul. Zhao Feng first perfected his illusion maze domain here. This was because if it was possible in the future, Zhao Feng planned to create another little world with the illusion maze domain. Zhao Feng also cultivated the 10,000 divine thoughts technique and the soul recovery divine technique at the same time. The 10,000 divine thoughts technique was about to reach perfection, and the soul recovery divine technique was extremely fast. Zhao Feng would be able to try the soul splitting technique soon. Why did Zhao Feng want to try this extremely dangerous soul technique that only had the first level of the technique? There were 3 reasons. Firstly, the automatons of the Heaven's Legacy race had a very high evaluation of the soul splitting technique. Furthermore, Zhao Feng had the God spiritual eye, so he was extremely good at analyzing techniques. Secondly, the 10,000 divine thoughts technique was about to reach perfection, and the benefits it brought to Zhao Feng were undeniable. Then, how strong would the soul splitting technique, which was based on the 10,000 divine thoughts technique and the soul recovery divine technique, be? Thirdly, the soul splitting technique was extremely attractive to Zhao Feng. Once Zhao Feng succeeded, then the problem of Zhao Feng's God, rejecting the Eye of Death, would be solved. This meant that once Zhao Feng cultivated the soul splitting technique and successfully split his soul, he would be able to merge the Eye of Death into his split soul. Zhao Feng didn't believe that his split soul would also have the God spiritual eye. He believed that his God spiritual eye was the same as the 8 great God eyes. It was unique. Time slowly passed, and it was noon. Jilan left the prayer mat and saw that Zhao Feng was still cultivating. Zhao Feng's soul intent has most likely reached the level of a Sacred Lord. It won't be a problem for him to cultivate here for a few days. Jilan sighed. She took out some soul-cleansing resources and ate them before returning to the prayer mat. Even Jilan didn't realize that Zhao Feng's cultivation speed was much faster than before. The next day, Jilan returned to the 6th floor and rested for a while before returning to the 7th floor. At this moment, Zhao Feng was still as motionless as before. The illusion maze domain is almost perfect. Zhao Feng was very satisfied. The more stable a domain was, the more convenient and powerful the little world would be. At the same time, after cultivating here for 2 days, Zhao Feng's soul intent, which had reached the level of the Sacred Lord, had become even purer. Furthermore, the illusion technique in Zhao Feng's mind had also formed. He combined the Eye of Illusion with the Purple Star Days and named it the Forbidden Illusion Lost World. The Forbidden Illusion Lost World would pull the enemy into an illusion created by Zhao Feng's God's spiritual eye. It would then separate the enemy's soul intent from their body and confuse their senses, making them think that everything around them was real. If he used the Forbidden Illusion Lost World on Ji Lian right now, just one glance would be enough to make Ji Lian fall into the illusion for dozens of years. On the third day, Ji Lian finally couldn't take it anymore. If she continued to stay in the Purple Star Tower, it would cause irrecoverable damage to her soul. Zhao Feng suddenly opened his eyes and left the prayer mat. "How is it? It's time to leave." Ji Lian smiled and said. She believed that Zhao Feng had definitely experienced how extraordinary the Purple Star Tower was. He might not be used to it since it was his first time in the Purple Star Tower, so he wouldn't be able to stay for long. "You can leave first," Zhao Feng said as he walked forward. "What are you doing?" "That's the entrance to the 8th floor." Ji Lian was stunned. Zhao Feng wanted to go to the 8th floor after staying on the 7th floor for 3 days? One had to know that the disciples of the Ji family would enter the higher floors in their best state. Only then would they be able to stay for longer. Zhao Feng probably wants to see the 8th floor, right? Ji Lian smiled. After all, after Zhao Feng left, he wouldn't have the chance to enter the Purple Star Tower anymore. There were many arrays on the path from the 7th floor to the 8th floor. However, these arrays weren't there to stop disciples from entering, but to isolate the purple mist between the floors. Zhao Feng passed through the arrays and arrived on the 8th floor. If he was on the 7th floor, Zhao Feng's field of vision would still be 5 feet. However, on the 8th floor, Zhao Feng's field of vision would only be 1 foot. Even if he circulated the see-through ability of his left eye, he wouldn't be able to see the entire floor. Soon, the scene in front of Zhao Feng became chaotic, as if there were many ferocious beasts hidden in the mist. As expected, it's not simple. Zhao Feng was extremely excited as he circulated the 10,000 divine thoughts technique and Sacred Lord Soul intent. Everything in front of him instantly returned to normal, and it became an ocean of purple mist. The reason why Zhao Feng took the risk to enter the 8th floor was because he realized that cultivating the soul recovery divine technique in the Purple Star Tower was extremely effective. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's soul intent had reached the level of a Sacred Lord a long time ago. Cultivating on the 8th floor of the Purple Star Tower was even more effective. Zhao Feng then found a futon and sat down. At this moment, Ji Lian and Ji Dingtian were getting impatient outside the Purple Star Tower. The other disciples of the Ji family that were waiting to watch a good show also started to leave. Suddenly, a purple light flashed on the 8th floor of the Purple Star Tower, and it lit up. The hearts of the nearby disciples shook, and they stopped moving. The Purple Star Tower had a total of 9 floors, and only when a disciple was cultivating on that floor would it light up. The fact that the 8th floor of the Purple Star Tower was flashing with a faint light meant that someone was cultivating on the 8th floor. However, the 8th floor was a place for Sacred Lords to cultivate. The 8th floor lit up. Could it be that a genius from the Ji family has reached the level of a Sacred Lord? I remember that Ji Dingtian was in there. Could it be him? The disciples of the Ji family gathered nearby were all talking at once, discussing spiritedly. This was because no Sacred Lord-level experts had entered the Purple Star Tower recently. This was why they guessed that an expert from the Ji family cultivating on the 7th floor had broken through and entered the 8th floor. Ji Dingtian was the strongest quasi-sacred lord of the Ji family, so this possibility was extremely high. What? Ji Dingtian? Ji Qingming's expression became grim. Ji Dingtian was indeed stronger than him, or else the spot for the Crown Prince trial would have been his. Now that Ji Dingtian had some fortune in the Crown Prince trial and had formed Sacred Lord intent after cultivating for a while, Ji Qingming was extremely angry. Luckily, he wasn't sure yet. Maybe Ji Dingtian was just trying to force his way into the 8th floor. Maybe the 8th floor's light would dim after a while. Ji Lian? Ji Lian revealed a faint smile, and he was extremely excited. Where's Zhao Feng? Ji Lian felt that something was wrong. Zhao Feng didn't come out with Ji Lan. He's still inside. Ji Lan gave a simple reply and walked to the side. Ji Lan knew what Ji Lian and Ji Qingming wanted to do when she saw them. She wasn't worried about Zhao Feng. Instead, she was worried about these two. Damn it, this Zhao Feng. Anger burned in Ji Lian's eyes. He could tell with one glance that Ji Lan was planning to wait for Zhao Feng to come out. Chapter 1003. Ji Lan waited on the 7th floor of the Purple Star Tower for a long time before she realized that Zhao Feng wasn't just going to the 8th floor to take a look. He was actually cultivating there. She stayed here because she wanted to see how long Zhao Feng, who had lasted 3 days on the 7th floor, could last on the 8th floor. Under normal circumstances, it would already be very good if Zhao Feng could stay on the 8th floor for 6 hours. One had to know that even the elders of the family could only stay on the 8th floor for 16 hours at the most. On the 8th floor of the Purple Star Tower, Zhao Feng was the only one left. The world that Zhao Feng was in was filled with thick purple mist, and it was as thick as mud. When Zhao Feng turned the mist around him into his illusion maze domain, Zhao Feng could almost see what the illusion maze domain would look like after it turned into a little world. With Zhao Feng's deduction abilities and the help of the Purple Star Tower, Zhao Feng was able to instantly understand how the illusion maze domain would look like after it turned into a little world. After all, Zhao Feng already had the experience of creating little worlds. I've also cultivated the Soul Recovery Divine technique to the 5th level. Zhao Feng felt his cultivation speed. There were 10 levels to this technique, and the first 3 levels were the foundations. Therefore, Zhao Feng was able to complete them in just one night. With the help of the Purple Star Tower, Zhao Feng only needed 3 days to cultivate to the 5th level. Furthermore, the Soul Recovery Divine technique would be even faster on the 8th floor of the Purple Star Tower. Of course, the 10,000 Divine Thoughts technique, which was about to reach completion, also helped. After all, the Soul Recovery Divine technique was the follow-up to it. At the same time that he cultivated these two techniques, Zhao Feng split off a part of his consciousness to comprehend the contents of some of the books that Sacred Lord Star Demon had collected. The books on the right side of the bookshelf were extremely comprehensive, and there were many theories that even Zhao Feng had never heard of before. These books greatly expanded Zhao Feng's knowledge. In the future, Zhao Feng would be able to fuse and create his own techniques. 6 hours later, even as Zhao Feng circulated his incantations, his psychic awareness began to grow chaotic. Zhao Feng immediately used the Soul Recovery Divine art that he had just cultivated. The effect of the Soul Recovery Divine technique on the soul was equivalent to the effect of a body-refining technique on the body. After circulating the Soul Recovery Divine art, Zhao Feng's soul body became more active, and his soul energy increased greatly. Such an effect made even Zhao Feng jump in fright. Looks like I underestimated the usefulness of the Soul Recovery Divine art, Zhao Feng murmured. The liveliness of his soul greatly increased, and the corrosion of the Purple Star Tower's 8th floor decreased once more. 8 hours. 10 hours. Outside the Purple Star Tower, a commotion broke out. He actually persisted for 10 hours. His soul intent has just reached the level of a Sacred Lord. Yet he can last this long on the 8th floor of the Purple Star Tower? Did Ji Dengtian obtain a soul-type treasure in the Imperial Tombs? The disciples of the Ji family kept guessing. Ji Dengtian. Ji Qingming had an ugly expression and was filled with anger. Although he had lost to Ji Dengtian in the fight for the spot to become Crown Prince, Ji Qingming had made up his mind to surpass Ji Dengtian. However, Ji Dengtian had stayed on the 8th floor of the Purple Star Tower for 10 hours already. This made him lose confidence. Just as everyone was discussing, Ji Dengtian walked out from the entrance of the Purple Star Tower. What's going on? Why are there so many people? Ji Dengtian paused for a moment as he followed everyone's gaze. It wouldn't be strange even if there were people on the 8th floor, right? Ji Dengtian was speechless. However, All the disciples outside the Purple Star Tower had their mouths wide open when they saw Ji Dingtian walk out from the Purple Star Tower. Ji Dingtian, weren't you on the 8th floor? Why did you come out? The 8th floor is still lit up, Ji Lian said in shock. He was screaming in his heart about why the light on the 8th floor hadn't been extinguished yet. I didn't enter the 8th floor, but while I can enter the 8th floor, I probably won't even last the time it takes to make a cup of tea. Ji Dingtian shook his head. He needed to continue working hard. Hearing Ji Dingtian's reply, everyone became excited once more. If it's not Ji Dingtian, then who is on the 8th floor? I remember that no one else on the 7th floor should be able to do this. Ji Dingtian was also surprised when he heard everyone's words. No Sacred Lord experts had entered the Purple Star Tower over the past few days, but the 8th floor of the Purple Star Tower had lit up for no reason. Who was on the 8th floor? Everyone was even more surprised. Jilan laughed in her heart behind the spectating disciples of the Purple Star Tower. There was no way she would tell these people that the person on the 8th floor was Zhao Feng. At this moment in time, within Sacred Lord Star Demon's Hall, 2 old purple-haired figures stood there. Star Demon, you said that the 8th prince chose to stand on the 9th prince's side? An elder wearing a purple crown was slightly surprised. He wasn't just surprised about this. He didn't expect the 9th prince to become the crown prince. Sacred Lord Star Demon had just told him about some of the major events of the crown prince trial. Do I need to lie to you? Sacred Lord Star Demon gave a faint smile. This Zhao Feng is indeed not simple. He's already entered the 8th floor of the Purple Star Tower. The elder in purple said in a low tone. He was still slightly suspicious that the 9th prince had relied on an emperor to turn the tide and become the crown prince. It's already been 10 hours. Can he last 16 hours? The elder in purple was full of expectation. His sole intent isn't any weaker than normal Sacred Lords. Sacred Lord Star Demon laughed and said he had interacted with Zhao Feng many times, so he had a certain understanding of Zhao Feng. You mean he can last more than 16 hours? The elder in purple was surprised once again. Let's make a bet. I bet that he can last more than 20 hours, and I'll bet the eye bloodline technique book you obtained last time. Sacred Lord Star Demon's eyes spun as he spoke with a cunning tone. Sure. If you lose, I want what you obtained from Zhao Feng. The elder in purple agreed after hesitating for a moment. Only those at the early stages of the Mystic Light Realm could stay on the 8th floor for 20 hours after entering the Purple Star Tower. According to what the elder in purple knew, Zhao Feng had already stayed on the 7th floor for 3 days. This was why he dared to make this bet. Furthermore, since Zhao Feng was able to enter the right bookshelf of Sacred Lord Star Demon, he must have given Sacred Lord Star Demon something that he wanted. What if he can stay longer or enter the 9th floor? Sacred Lord Star Demon suddenly thought of something and laughed. Star Demon, you're really getting old. If he can enter the 9th floor, you'll be in charge of the G family in the future. The elder in purple couldn't help but laugh. One had to know that the lowest requirement to enter the 9th floor was to be a sacred king. It had been almost 10,000 years since anyone from the G family had entered the 9th floor. Even the elder in purple didn't know what the 9th floor was like. Okay, you're the Grand Elder of the G family. You have to keep your word. Within the Purple Star Tower, Zhao Feng had already stayed on the 8th floor for 12 hours. His soul consciousness started to become chaotic once more. It was useless even if he circulated the 10,000 divine thoughts technique and the soul recovery divine technique. The Purple Star Tower isn't very helpful for cultivating the 10,000 divine thoughts technique. Zhao Feng sighed faintly. At this moment, Zhao Feng was only one step away from reaching the peak of the 10,000 divine thoughts technique. Although it was only one step, it was the most difficult step. If that's the case, then I'll have to use a special method. Zhao Feng made up his mind. He took out many rare herbs that could purify the soul from the misty spatial world and ate them. Zhao Feng's consciousness became clear and returned to normal. At the same time, Zhao Feng circulated the 10,000 divine thoughts technique. One thought turned into 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000. Zhao Feng split up his thoughts and started to act individually. At the same time, Zhao Feng cultivated the five-elemental wind lightning technique, absorbed the power of God Tribulation lightning from the demigod head, refined his sacred lightning body, cultivated many battle techniques, and read thousands of books in his memory. Zhao Feng had never split his thoughts to the maximum and used them all. At this moment, Zhao Feng felt as if his head was about to split open. Luckily, the soul treasure he just ate kept on releasing surges of unique soul power that blocked the purple mist and nourished Zhao Feng's soul at the same time. At this rate, the energy of the soul treasure Zhao Feng just ate was absorbed to the maximum. 12 hours later, the energy of the soul treasure Zhao Feng ate was completely absorbed, and the scenery around Zhao Feng started to twist. However, at a certain moment, a calm undulation spread from Zhao Feng's soul consciousness, and all the discomfort in his soul disappeared. In that instant, the world around Zhao Feng returned to normal. The 10,000 Divine Thoughts technique has reached the peak stages, and my soul intent is close to the early stages of the mystic light realm. Zhao Feng was overjoyed. He didn't think that the 10,000 Divine Thoughts technique that he had obtained from Duanmu Qing's master would be able to help Zhao Feng cultivate his soul intent to such a level. On the other hand, this proved the grade of the 10,000 Divine Thoughts technique. After reaching the peak stages of the 10,000 Divine Thoughts technique, Zhao Feng placed most of his thoughts on the Soul Recovery Divine technique, and he felt that his cultivation speed had increased once more. On top of that, Zhao Feng's soul intent had become stronger, which made his resistance against the 8th floor even stronger. This meant that Zhao Feng could stay on the 8th floor for even longer. Chaos broke out outside the Purple Star Tower. It's been 16 hours, but the 8th floor is still lit up. Impossible. Could something have happened to the Purple Star Tower? That's possible. There's no one on the 8th floor. Something must have happened to the Purple Star Tower. The people outside weren't willing to believe that someone could stay on the 8th floor for so long after their soul intent had reached the level of a sacred lord. Ji Dangtian, do you know who it is? Ji Qingming asked in surprise. Ji Dangtian started to think back. He knew the people on the 8th floor, and they were the same people when he left. I'm not sure. The people on the 7th floor shouldn't be able to enter the 8th floor. Ji Dangtian had a grim expression. That's impossible. Even Ji Lan didn't believe it. Did something happen to Zhao Feng? How could a normal person stay on the 8th floor? The commotion around the Purple Star Tower obviously alerted the few sacred lords in the family, but they didn't go in to see what was going on. Instead, they chose to wait outside for the surprise. The sky started to brighten. 20 hours had passed, and the 8th floor of the Purple Star Tower was still flashing with a purple light. Within the Purple Star Tower, Zhao Feng opened his eyes. Even if he cultivated the 10,000 Divine Thoughts technique to the maximum, he wouldn't be able to stay on the 8th floor for so long. Luckily, the power of God Tribulation lightning within his lightning soul body was able to get rid of the purple mist that had invaded Zhao Feng's soul. However, this wasn't a long-term solution because the power of God Tribulation lightning couldn't keep up with his recovery speed. Only 50% of the God Tribulation lightning symbols remained in Zhao Feng's soul. I could still last for a while. The Purple Star token could only be used once, and Zhao Feng didn't want to waste this chance. I wonder what the situation is like on the 9th floor. Zhao Feng couldn't help but be curious. If he used all his trump cards and the power of God Tribulation lightning, Zhao Feng might be able to enter the 9th floor. However, if he failed, Zhao Feng wouldn't be able to stay on the 8th floor. After hesitating for a while, Zhao Feng made up his mind. Let me see what the 9th floor of the Purple Star Tower is like. Chapter 1004. 20 hours have passed. Sacred Lord Star Demon had an excited expression. Originally, he only had a 50% chance of success. He didn't expect that Zhao Feng could really stay on the 8th level for such a long time. Therefore, he won the bet with the Elder in purple. Sacred Lord Star Demon won the bet. This kid's soul attainment is actually so high. The purple-crowned old man was shocked. It wasn't a big deal to give the Eye Bloodline Technique book to Sacred Lord Star Demon. Most importantly, they had discovered Zhao Feng's astonishing potential. Making friends with such a genius was definitely beneficial to the Ji family. Fortunately, he did not make a move against that junior because of Jilian. Instead, he ordered his second disciple, Ji Qingming, to follow Jilian. With that, there would not be any trouble. Don't forget what you said, Sacred Lord Star Demon reminded as he looked into the distance. Do you really expect him to enter the 9th floor? The purple-crowned elder couldn't help but smile. He refused to believe that Zhao Feng could enter the 9th floor even if he was beaten to death. He and Sacred Lord Star Demon were both grand elders of the Ji family, but the true power was in his hands. Outside the Purple Star Tower, it's been 20 hours. Even if someone's soul intent broke through to the Sacred Lord level, they wouldn't be able to stay in there for so long. I'll go take a look. Ji Dangtian could no longer suppress his curiosity. He didn't know when the Ji family had such a genius. After saying this, Ji Dangtian spent a lot of contribution points to enter the Purple Star Tower. We'll wait for Zhao Feng here, Ji Qingming said solemnly. When Ji Dangtian went to participate in the Crown Prince trial, he had used up all of his family's contribution points. He wanted to enter the Purple Star Tower, but he couldn't. All right, we can't let Zhao Feng escape. Jilian was very much in agreement. The other disciples outside the Purple Star Tower also chose to wait outside. After all, it was not worth it to waste so many precious clan contribution points just to go in and take a look at one person. Within the Purple Star Tower, Zhao Feng arrived at the staircase leading to the 9th floor and took a few steps. The 9th level is above our heads. Zhao Feng looked up. The purple mist was like mud piling up in the air. A line of words was engraved on the side wall of the corridor. Your cultivation level is not high enough. Don't enter, or else you might lose consciousness and be unable to come down. It seemed that many people were as curious as Zhao Feng. Boom! Zhao Feng's soul suddenly surged out, pushing aside some of the purple mist around him. At the same time, Zhao Feng used the 10,000 Divine Thoughts technique to control the power of his will more precisely to stop the purple mist from approaching. On the other hand, the Soul Recovery Divine Art could increase the defense of Zhao Feng's soul and give him a certain resistance against the purple mist. Bang! Zhao Feng directly entered the 9th floor. In an instant, the endless purple fog pressed down on Zhao Feng, as if it wanted to bury Zhao Feng completely. In less than half a breath's time, Zhao Feng's soul was squeezed and deformed. Praying mat. Zhao Feng took a step towards the cushion closest to him. Boom! As the soul was squeezed into Zhao Feng's soul, the purple mist instantly attacked Zhao Feng's soul. Boom! Boom! Zhao Feng immediately used the God Tribulation lightning symbols in his lightning soul body. The remaining 1,000 or so God Tribulation lightning symbols instantly flashed, and the power of the God Tribulation lightning spread. Boom! Boom! Sizzle. A lot of the purple mist that was squeezing onto Zhao Feng's soul was destroyed by the power of the God Tribulation lightning. The pressure on Zhao Feng lessened, and he took another step forward. Wong. A faint layer of stars appeared in Zhao Feng's left eye. With the light of penetration, Zhao Feng's vision was almost unaffected, and he could see through everything. Therefore, Zhao Feng's consciousness was still relatively clear. The distance between Zhao Feng and the cushion closest to him was getting closer and closer. I might be able to dissolve the purple mist. Zhao Feng suddenly had an idea. However, the amount of purple mist on the 9th floor exceeded Zhao Feng's imagination, and it seemed to have become solid as it flowed through the entire space. Furthermore, the structure of the purple mist particles was extremely complicated, and it wasn't practical to dissolve it. However, what if I change my method and use the decomposition technique? An idea popped into Zhao Feng's mind. Up until now, Zhao Feng's light of decomposition had always been fired in a straight line. However, the usage of the decomposition technique wasn't limited to this. Just like how many techniques were used, the key was whether the user could use them in a different way. Suddenly, A faint golden ripple shot out from Zhao Feng's left eye and spun in the air before wrapping around Zhao Feng, forming a faint golden protective barrier. Whoosh! The purple mist that kept on coming was partially dissolved when it passed through the faint golden protective barrier, greatly reducing the power of the purple mist. Bam bam! Zhao Feng suddenly took 2 steps forward and stood on the cushion. The 9th floor instantly flashed with a faint purple light. However, since Zhao Feng was standing on the cushion, it was equivalent to him cultivating on it. Therefore, the purple mist was even more powerful. Hold on! Zhao Feng's left eye flashed with a golden light, and layers of faint golden ripples surged out and wrapped around Zhao Feng. On Zhao Feng's soul, countless symbols of God Tribulation lightning lit up and activated the power of the God Tribulation lightning. At this moment, Zhao Feng used all his trump cards to the limit. Boom! The faint golden barrier around Zhao Feng's body disappeared, and the symbols of God Tribulation lightning in his lightning soul body also started to dim. The 10,000 Divine Thoughts technique and the Soul Recovery Divine technique also started to lose their effect. He only stood on the cushion for 3 breaths of time. Li Zhao Feng's consciousness still maintained a certain level of clarity. Although he could last for 1 more breath, he would lose the ability to resist after that, and he might not be able to go down. Zhao Feng circulated his wind lightning true yuan and instantly entered the staircase, arriving on the 8th floor. Because Zhao Feng had reached his limit in every aspect, Zhao Feng didn't have the ability to resist the purple mist anymore. Therefore, Zhao Feng couldn't resist the purple mist on the 8th floor, and his consciousness started to become chaotic. Rumble! Zhao Feng quickly flew on the 8th floor of the Purple Star Tower and charged down the staircase, arriving on the 7th floor of the Purple Star Tower. The 7th floor of the Purple Star Tower was a place suitable for emperors to cultivate. Zhao Feng finally let out a breath when he arrived here. As long as he still had a wisp of soul intent, he would be able to stay here safely. Zhao Feng. Ji Dingtian was stunned when he saw Zhao Feng charge out from the staircase leading to the 8th floor. It wasn't a disciple of the Ji family, but Zhao Feng cultivating on the 8th floor. Zhao Feng didn't bother with Ji Dingtian. He had only cultivated on the 8th floor for a day, and it shouldn't affect him much. He consumed some soul-nourishing resources and circulated the Soul Recovery Divine technique to recover his soul injuries. The Soul Recovery Divine technique has reached the peak of the 6th level. Zhao Feng couldn't help but reveal a trace of a smile. It seemed like taking the risk to enter the 9th floor of the Purple Star Tower was worth it. Zhao Feng, I didn't expect you to be able to stay on the 8th floor for so long. Ji Dingtian finally spoke. If it was Zhao Feng cultivating on the 8th floor, then everything made sense. After all, Ji Dingtian had witnessed Zhao Feng's strength, and he admitted defeat. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's performance in the Crown Prince trial was shocking. Therefore, Ji Dingtian wasn't that shocked about Zhao Feng anymore. The Ji family's Purple Star Tower has a well-deserved reputation. Zhao Feng praised. Unfortunately, the Purple Star token could only be used once. Brother Zhao, go back and rest. It's your first time entering the 8th floor of the Purple Star Tower, and you've already surpassed normal sacred lords by being able to last this long. Ji Dingtian could see that Zhao Feng was weak. It would be abnormal if Zhao Feng came down from the 8th floor completely fine. Zhao Feng slowly absorbed the energy of the resources he just consumed while circulating the Soul Recovery Divine technique to slowly leave the Purple Star Tower. Ji Dingtian remained on the 7th floor. After all, it was a waste to leave after spending so much contribution points. Outside the Purple Star Tower, did I see wrong? The 9th floor of the Purple Star Tower lit up just now. How is this possible? Someone from the Ji family can cultivate on the 9th floor? Could something really have happened to the Purple Star Tower? The spectators were dazed for a long time before they started to discuss. One had to know that the 9th floor of the Purple Star Tower was where sacred kings cultivated. It had been 10,000 years since the 9th floor of the Purple Star Tower had lit up. However, just now, The ninth floor of the Purple Star Tower lit up for an instant. Although it was just an instant, its influence surpassed the 20 hours on the 8th floor. Should I report this to great-grandfather? Jillian realized that this matter wasn't simple. At this moment, Zhao Feng appeared in front of the Purple Star Tower. Ji Qingming, he's Zhao Feng. Jillian immediately threw what just happened to the back of his mind. A mere emperor, has become so weak after entering the Purple Star Tower for the first time. Ji Qingming couldn't help but snicker when he saw Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng, I can't believe you were able to hide in the Purple Star Tower for so long. Jillian immediately stepped out and revealed a fierce expression. With Ji Qingming's help, he didn't believe that he couldn't take care of Zhao Feng. Jillian saw Zhao Feng from afar and woke up from her daze. Although she didn't believe it, she knew that only Zhao Feng could enter the 9th floor of the Purple Star Tower. However, Zhao Feng looked extremely weak at this moment. It should be because he entered the 9th floor. In this case, would Zhao Feng be Ji Qingming's opponent? The other disciples of the Ji family also came over to watch. They had waited for a long time and still didn't know who was cultivating on the 8th floor. It wasn't a bad idea to have some fun now. Zhao Feng, if you could take 3 moves from me, I'll let you off today. Ji Qingming looked down from above and said in disdain. He didn't want to be known as someone who bullied the weak, which was why he said that. Although it was only 3 moves, if Ji Qingming went all out, he would definitely torture Zhao Feng until he wished he was dead. Scram, I'm busy now. Zhao Feng glanced at the two impatiently. Zhao Feng had gained a lot from his trip to the Purple Star Tower. He still had to rush back to recuperate and cultivate. How would he have the time to fool around here? Humph. Refusing a toast only to drink a forfeit. Ji Qingming's expression became fierce. He didn't expect this junior to be so arrogant and disrespectful to him. Wang, Ji Qingming's eyes suddenly flashed with a purple light. However, in the next instant, Zhao Feng's golden eyes scanned over the two of them, and a soul-shaking eye intent spread out before instantly retracting it. SII. The surroundings of the Purple Star Tower were dead silent. At that instant, the eye intent that Zhao Feng released caused their eye bloodlines to tremble, and they felt as if their souls were being suppressed by a mountain. On the other hand, Jillian and Ji Qingming were dazed. Their eyes dimmed as they fell into an illusion. Chapter 1005. Zhao Feng didn't just cultivate the 10,000 Divine Thoughts technique and the Soul Recovery Divine technique in the Purple Star Tower. He also cultivated illusions in the Tao of Illusions. Although his soul was severely injured and his soul had yet to recover, it was enough to take care of these two. Zhao Feng circulated some of the willpower he had just recovered and cast a simplified forbidden illusion lost world, causing the two to fall into an illusory world. Zhao Feng, Jillian immediately stepped forward, her face full of surprise, not knowing what to say. Her mind was a bit blank. Everyone could feel how weak Zhao Feng was. In this kind of situation, he actually took care of Ji Qingming with a single gaze. She was the only one who knew that it was Zhao Feng who had ascended to the 9th level. I'm not going to see Senior Star Demon today, Zhao Feng said indifferently, and then flew back to his residence. Jillian was stunned, then stomped her feet. She would only be able to borrow books if Zhao Feng went to Sacred Lord Star Demon's place. However, she didn't stay here because she wanted to go to Sacred Lord Star Demon's secret treasury with Zhao Feng. Jillian, Ji Qingming, what happened to you? After Zhao Feng left, many disciples gathered around, looking at the two people from the Ji clan who provoked Zhao Feng. I've been hit by a soul path illusion technique, but ordinary illusion techniques are useless. A Ji clan great emperor tried many methods, but they were all useless. Not long after, Ji Qingming looked like he was struggling, but he quickly came to his senses. Jillian, on the other hand, was still standing there like a fool. Jillian, Ji Qingming immediately sent his soul consciousness into Jillian's soul and awakened him. This Zhao Feng, after Jillian woke up, his whole body trembled. Although this was Jillian's second time facing Zhao Feng's illusion, The eye intent that Zhao Feng released this time was too strong and completely stunned him. On the other hand, Ji Qingming was terrified. Zhao Feng could easily take care of them in such a weak state. It was hard to imagine how strong Zhao Feng would be in his complete state. The 6th level of the Soul Recovery Divine Technique has reached perfection. The effects are not bad. On his way to his residence, Zhao Feng noticed that the damage to his soul had recovered by about 20%. However, Bai Qingyue, Old Monster Su, and the others suddenly left. Did something happen? Zhao Feng muttered to himself. While they were cultivating in the Purple Star Tower, Bai Qingyue told them through the Dark Heart Seal that they were going back. Perhaps Bai Qingyue didn't want Zhao Feng to be distracted by his cultivation, so she didn't tell him the details. At the time, Zhao Feng was at a crucial point in his cultivation, so she didn't ask. At this moment, Bai Qingyue and company had already left the range of the Dark Heart Seal. After returning to his residence, Zhao Feng went into seclusion alone. Within the misty spatial world, the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly flapped its transparent wings and arrived next to Zhao Feng. It's ready to break through to the mystic light realm. Zhao Feng's heart moved. The cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly had been severely injured during the battle, but it had recovered to its peak state with Zhao Feng's healing. Adding on the large amount of resources that Zhao Feng had given it, the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly's strength had reached a peak. The cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly had a certain level of confidence that it could break through to the mystic light realm, but it wasn't very likely. Meow meow. The little thieving cat arrived next to Zhao Feng. 1 portion of 100 origin sacred honey. I'll leave the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly to you. Zhao Feng gave this matter to the little thieving cat. The cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly had helped Zhao Feng a lot. If it broke through to the mystic light realm, its value would increase even more. Meow meow. The little thieving cat waved its paws in front of Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng nodded his head. The little thieving cat was saying that it had taken good care of Zhao Feng's beast hoard and precious herbs, so it wanted Zhao Feng to reward it. Zhao Feng then walked around the misty spatial world with the little thieving cat. The little thieving cat was indeed very good at managing the beasts. It could communicate with the beasts and understand the situation of each beast. It could use the smallest amount of resources to maximize its effect. The strength of each beast horde had increased by a lot. Therefore, Zhao Feng agreed to some of the resource requests that the little thieving cat made. After taking care of the little thieving cat, Zhao Feng focused on healing the injuries to his soul. 2 days later, Zhao Feng's injuries had completely healed, and his soul had become purer and more condensed. The power of his soul had increased, and the Soul Recovery Divine Technique had also successfully broken through to the 7th level. I could try the Soul Splitting Technique after I cultivate the Soul Recovery Divine Technique to the 8th level. Zhao Feng couldn't suppress the excitement in his heart. According to the description of the Soul Splitting Technique, this was equivalent to a cloning technique. The clone technique was a technique that sacred lords specialized in, and it used the sacred body to create a clone. The soul-splitting technique split the soul, and the split soul was the same as a clone. Furthermore, the soul-splitting technique had the effect of cultivating the soul. Therefore, Zhao Feng became more and more interested in the soul-splitting technique, and he wanted to perfect it. This meant that Zhao Feng needed to read a large amount of knowledge about the soul in order to expand his knowledge. On this day, Zhao Feng left his residence and headed towards Sacred Lord Star Demon's private library. Zhao Feng hadn't finished reading the books on the left bookshelf, and he still had 2 more days to borrow the books on the right bookshelf. Little friend Zhao, you're finally here. Sacred Lord Star Demon's voice sounded from several dozen yards away from Sacred Lord Star Demon's hall. Thank you, Senior, for your purple star token. This junior has learned a lot. Zhao Feng clasped his hands to express his gratitude. After cultivating for 4 days in the Purple Star Tower, Zhao Feng had learned a lot. Zhao Feng also knew that Sacred Lord Star Demon could sense everything that happened in the Purple Star Tower, but that didn't matter. It didn't matter. The stronger he was, the more benefits he would receive from Sacred Lord Star Demon. Ha ha! If that's the case, then little friend Zhao can go to the Purple Star Tower directly in the future. Sacred Lord Star Demon laughed. Zhao Feng paused for a moment. Even if he displayed some strength, Sacred Lord Star Demon shouldn't be so nice to him. Entering the Purple Star Tower as he pleased was very unfair to the disciples of the G family who needed contribution points to enter, and it might have a bad influence on them. However, seeing how happy Sacred Lord Star Demon was, Zhao Feng didn't reject him. Perhaps he had encountered something good. Also, if little friend Zhao wants to cultivate the soul-splitting technique, I've studied it for a while and have written down many notes. Are you interested? Sacred Lord Star Demon continued. Zhao Feng paused once again. He felt that Sacred Lord Star Demon was very different today. Wasn't he being too nice to Zhao Feng? Was there a trap? Zhao Feng obviously didn't know that the power of the G family had changed just because he stayed on the 9th floor of the Purple Star Tower for 3 breaths. It's this junior's honor to be able to borrow senior's notes. Zhao Feng couldn't reject Sacred Lord Star Demon's temptation, but he also expressed that he didn't have anything else to trade with. I also want to see the complete soul-splitting technique. If little friend Zhao perfects it in the future, you must let me see it. Sacred Lord Star Demon said in a playful tone. Sacred Lord Star Demon took out a book and gave it to Zhao Feng after arriving at Sacred Lord Star Demon's private stash. Zhao Feng then went to the bookshelf on the right and sank his consciousness into the ocean of books. Sacred Lord Star Demon was indeed worthy of being the living textbook of the G family's I bloodline. He had a lot of knowledge and experience, and he had even written down part of his opinion on the soul-splitting technique. According to Sacred Lord Star Demon's understanding, the success rate of cultivating the soul-splitting technique was very high, but the prerequisite was that one had to cultivate the 10,000 Divine Thoughts technique and the Soul Recovery Divine technique. To a certain extent, this notebook also gave Zhao Feng a rough idea of how to cultivate the soul-splitting technique. After reading this notebook, Zhao Feng's confidence in cultivating the soul-splitting technique increased. Zhao Feng then started to borrow other books. Zhao Feng believed that one day, his knowledge and experience would surpass Sacred Lord Star Demon's. Time passed by in the blink of an eye, and Zhao Feng's time on the bookshelf on the right came to an end. Zhao Feng had a regretful expression, but in reality, he had already memorized 70% of the books on the right bookshelf that he was interested in. Zhao Feng then set his sights on the bookshelf on the left, where there were more books. Grand Elder, Jilan requests to see you. Jilan's voice sounded for the first time in the last couple of days. Speak. Pavilion Master Bai want me to bring a letter to Zhao Feng and ask Zhao Feng to come back as soon as possible. Jilan reported. Bai Qingwei and Jilan met quite a bit in the Ji family, so she would obviously bring a letter to Jilan to avoid any delays. Within the hall, Zhao Feng's eyebrows furrowed. He knew that there was a reason why Bai Qingwei and company wanted to go back as soon as possible. Senior Star Demon, this junior will be leaving first. Zhao Feng immediately said his goodbyes. From Jilan's words, Zhao Feng could tell that the situation was quite urgent. Jilan, take some inner disciples of the Ji family and follow Zhao Feng. Sacred Lord Star Demon's voice sounded. Yes, sir, Jilan replied. Zhao Feng then led the disciples of the Ji family back to the Misty Moon Island Zone. Before leaving, Zhao Feng used the Misty Spatial World to leave behind a mark in the Ji family. There were 15 disciples of the Ji family that came with Jilan, and almost all of them were emperors. They were all extremely excited. The family had given them a lot of rewards for this mission. In front of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion in the Misty Moon Island Zone, Old Monster Su, Supreme Emperor Dark Knight, and several other members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion were trapped within a sacred power array. Old Monster Su and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight were covered in purple spots, and they were heavily injured. The other members were taking care of them. Everything will be taken care of when the Grand Elder returns. Zhang Jie's decisive voice sounded. Don't worry, Zhao Feng will come. Old Monster Su's weak voice sounded. Old Monster Su had already contacted Zhao Feng through the Dark Heart Seal. and Zhao Feng was on his way. The interior of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion had completely changed. In a gloomy hall, two tall figures stood. One of them was wearing golden armor that had silver engravings on it, and the other was wearing a black and red robe that radiated a fierce aura of the demonic Tao. We purposely let that bitch go. She won't leave you alone, right? Ha ha ha. The black and red-robed figure gave a mocking laugh. They purposely let Bai Qingwei go because they were waiting for her to send a message for Zhao Feng to come back as soon as possible. If Zhao Feng doesn't come back in 5 days, then go report to hell. The golden-armored male roared. I'm coming. Go report to hell. A cold voice resounded across the misty moon island zone. Chapter 1006. The red and black-robed elder and the golden-armored male immediately charged out from the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. At the same time, dozens of figures flew out from the other areas of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Zhao Feng, Old Monster Su's body shook slightly, and he immediately got up. Grand Elder. Zhang Jian'er's eyes were filled with respect. The members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion also looked at the sky excitedly. It was as if this nightmare would end as long as Grand Elder Zhao Feng returned. Master, save Old Monster Su, Supreme Emperor Dark Knight, and company first. Bai Qingwei communicated with Zhao Feng through the Dark Heart Seal. The two of them were poisoned and needed to be saved as soon as possible. Zhao Feng looked at the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion and the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion trapped in the array, and his expression became grim. He understood the situation here a little through Bai Qingwei. The two 3-star forces that had taken over the Ocean Smoke Pavilion were the 8-star Tower and the Ghostfire Clan. These two forces had taken over the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, while Zhao Feng and the upper echelon of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion were gone. At the same time, they set up an ambush and caught Old Monster Su, Bai Qingwei, and company off guard. However, it was obvious that these two forces wanted to take over Zhao Feng's force, so they didn't start a massacre. You're Zhao Feng, the golden-armored male exclaimed in a low tone, and heaven and earth started to tremble. You talk too much nonsense. Why don't you just kill him? The red and black-robed elder said in an impatient and dark voice. The target of their sex was only Zhao Feng. As long as they killed Zhao Feng, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, the 10,000 Sacred Clan, and an assassination force, as well as Zhao Feng's treasures, would all be theirs. Don't you see the disciples of the Ji family next to Zhao Feng? The golden-armored male messaged. According to their intelligence, Zhao Feng should only have some contact with the Duanmu clan. However, the Duanmu clan was ranked last among the 8 great clans and was extremely far away from the sea. Even if they annexed Zhao Feng's forces, they believed that the Duanmu clan would not do anything to them. However, the Ji clan was different. The Ji clan was not too far from the sea. The Ji clan's strength was in the upper middle of the 8 great clans. Really stubborn. Don't worry about Ji family. Just kill Zhao Feng directly. The black-red-robed elder said in disdain. If Zhao Feng had come alone, it might have been a problem. However, if Zhao Feng thought that he could scare them away by bringing the Ji clan's people with him, he was gravely mistaken. Speak. Who is the mastermind? Seeing that you didn't harm the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, I'll leave your corpses intact. Zhao Feng suddenly asked. The 8-star Tower and the Ghostfire sect were 3-star forces close to the mainland. These two forces had no enmity with the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Even if Zhao Feng had stolen resources from the 8-star Tower's forces in the Divine Illusion dimension, there was no way that the 8-star Tower would target the Ocean Smoke Pavilion because of that. There was definitely something going on behind the scenes for these two forces, one evil and one righteous, to team up and attack his forces for no reason at all. Ha! You're still spouting nonsense, even when you're about to die. The black-red-robed elder said in disdain. A great emperor actually dared to say such words to two sacred lords? Although they were only at the early stages of the mystic light realm, they were much stronger than Old Monster Su, who had just become a mystic light realm sacred lord. On top of that, they had also brought 2 quasi-sacred lords from their respective forces. Who? The black red-robed figure and the golden-armored male instantly charged out. The emperors and quasi-sacred lords followed behind them. Don't harm anyone from the Ji family. Just kill Zhao Feng. The black-red-robed elder's voice sounded in everyone's souls. Those from the Ji family instantly started to panic. If it wasn't for the fact that Sacred Lord Star Demon had personally given them this mission, they would have run already. Furthermore, the news of Zhao Feng instantly killing Ji Chengming had spread outside the Purple Star Tower. Many disciples of the Ji family acknowledged Zhao Feng's strength. Don't panic. Listen to Zhao Feng's orders. The 8-Star Tower and the Ghostfire clan won't dare to do anything to the Ji family. Jilan's voice sounded in the hearts of the disciples of the Ji family. Jilan believed that with Zhao Feng's strength and the help of the members of the Ji family, he would be able to deal with the current situation. Zhao Feng's expression didn't change as he looked at the two forces charging over. A powerful surge of eye intent appeared from his left eye. Forbidden illusion, lost world. Limitless soul power from his lightning soul body flowed into his left eye. Zhao Feng's left eye turned into a limitless purple and gold maze world that radiated a fatal attraction. Wang, all the experts in front of Zhao Feng couldn't help but look at Zhao Feng's eyes. They instantly felt as if their consciousness was going out of control, and they started to struggle. However, it was useless. The light in their eyes soon disappeared. Who? The several dozen members that charged out with the golden-armored male and the red and black-robed elder all froze in the distance, as if they had lost their souls. The golden-armored male and the red and black-robed elder had to circulate all of their soul intent to block the terrifying eye bloodline technique. What's going on? The red and black-robed elder felt that something was wrong, and his heart went cold. His body shook as he looked at the golden-eyed youth in front of him. How is this possible? What powerful soul intent? Cold sweat appeared on the golden-armored male's back. He never would have thought that the battle would end before it even started. With just one glance, Zhao Feng had instantly killed everyone apart from the two of them. How is this possible? Wasn't he just an emperor? How could the eye bloodline technique of an emperor be effective against a sacred lord? As for the Ji family disciples behind Zhao Feng, their hearts skipped a beat and they fell into a daze. They didn't even need to do anything. Jilan was speechless. Although she had expected that Zhao Feng's full strength would surprise her, it definitely wasn't like this. The several dozen emperors and quasi-sacred lords couldn't fight back at all against Zhao Feng's eye bloodline technique. Zhao Feng looked at the battlefield. The power of the eye bloodline technique is scattered, so it won't be able to threaten a sacred lord. Of course, Zhao Feng's eye bloodline technique was a trapping technique that could instantly destroy a portion of the enemy's battle power. It wasn't very offensive. Quick charge. This brat soul is too strong. The golden-armored male's expression didn't change as he messaged the red and black-robed elder. The red and black-robed elder specialized in the soul, so he could block Zhao Feng's soul eye bloodline technique. This brat's soul is so strong. All you need to do is block his soul attack, and I'll deal him a fatal blow in the physical dimension. The golden-armored male continued to message. Okay. The red and black-robed elder gritted his teeth and turned into a streak of black-red, ghostly fire that instantly shot toward Zhao Feng. If the two sacred lords were defeated by Zhao Feng, what face would their sex have left? At the same time, the red and black-robed elder's enraged voice sounded in the golden-armored male's soul. Is the sacred lord of shadows messing with us? The golden-armored male's expression became grim, but they had no way out now. You're courting death. Zhao Feng's expression was cold as he spat out two words. A surge of eye bloodline flames surged from his left eye, and a purple and gold light spun around it as dark golden God Tribulation lightning symbols flashed. Boom! A ball of transparent purple and gold lightning fire with the aura of God Tribulation lightning landed on the black-red ghostly fire. Art! The red and black-robed elder screamed. Both his soul and body were being burned by the lightning fire. After the trip to the Purple Star Tower, Zhao Feng's soul intent had become stronger, and his mastery of eye bloodline techniques had reached another level. Zhao Feng's wind lightning eye flame could severely injure normal sacred lords if their strength wasn't suppressed. Zhao Feng suddenly flew out. Bam! Zhao Feng circulated the power of his sacred lightning body and punched the red and black-robed elder until he spat out a mouthful of blood. Normal quasi-sacred lords would die, without a doubt, when facing a punch like this from Zhao Feng. However, the sacred body of a sacred lord was different. It had a strong defense against attacks of a lower cultivation, and its recovery speed was extremely fast. Zhao Feng released another punch that contained a large amount of God Tribulation lightning toward the sacred power whirlpool in the Elder's Dantian. When an emperor broke through to the sacred lord realm, the crystal core dimension within their body would turn into a sacred power whirlpool. Boom! The red and black-robed elder's figure disappeared from heaven and earth. His soul was completely shattered by Zhao Feng's soul intent. He only left behind an interspatial bracelet, which Zhao Feng put into the misty spatial world. The red and black-robed elder was also at the initial stages of the mystic light realm, but he was much weaker than Sacred Lord Hundred Refined and company in the Imperial Tombs. This was because Zhao Feng had used his own strength to kill a sacred lord. The Grand Elder of the Ghostfire clan had died just like that. The bodies of everyone from the Ji family, including Ji-Lan, shook. A mystic light realm sacred lord that could shake the continent had died just like that. They felt that it wasn't real. Only now did the disciples of the Ji family understand that they had picked up a great deal. They only needed to make a trip, and they would be able to receive a generous reward from the family. Grand Elder, the blood of the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion boiled. This was their Grand Elder. With such terrifying strength, he could completely crush the invaders. The golden-armored male's movements were slightly slower, so he instantly stopped and retreated several steps. His hair stood on end as a coldness of death covered his body. How can he be so strong? How is this possible? How can an emperor kill a sacred lord so easily? The golden-armored male roared in his heart. Damn it! I was betrayed by Sacred Lord Dark Shadow. After hesitating for a moment, the golden-armored male gritted his teeth and said, Zhao Feng, let the 8-star tower go. We're willing to compensate the Ocean Smoke Pavilion for all their losses. I'll tell you who the mastermind is as well. He didn't dare to fight back against Zhao Feng's strength. There's no need, Zhao Feng said. The expression of a half-transparent black figure changed dramatically in a hidden area several thousand miles away from the water-based sacred land. These useless people. Not good. I've been discovered. Sacred Lord Dark Shadow's soul shook and turned into a streak of dark light that flashed by. I'll deal with the 8-star tower after I return. Zhao Feng snickered coldly as wind, lightning, true yuan started to surge around him, and a pair of scarlet wings of lightning formed. Who? The wings on Zhao Feng's back released a scarlet golden light as they turned into a long arc of lightning and instantly disappeared. What speed? The golden-armored male was dazed, and fear lingered in his heart. He had wanted to run just now, but the elders and elites of the 8-star tower were all here. I actually believed 9 Darkness Palace's words and did something like this? The golden-armored male laughed self-mockingly. At this moment, some of the quasi-sacred lords that had been hit by Zhao Feng's illusion started to wake up. Chapter 1007. Damn it! How did things turn out like this? Sacred Lord Dark Shadow cursed as he flew. Before the Crown Prince trial started, he was sent by 9 Darkness Palace to instigate and threaten the surrounding forces to attack the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Their goal was to use the sacred lords of the other 3-star forces to force Zhao Feng to use his last god-slaying arrow. Once the god-slaying arrow was used, only death awaited Zhao Feng. However, 9 Darkness Palace quickly sent news to Sacred Lord Dark Shadow after the Crown Prince trial ended. The upper echelon of 9 Darkness Palace told Sacred Lord Dark Shadow that Zhao Feng already had the strength to kill initial stage Mystic Light Realm cultivators. Adding on the terrifying horde of beasts, he wouldn't even need to fear a group battle. One had to know that there were strong and weak Sacred Lords, but it was still hard for initial stage Mystic Light Realm cultivators to kill those of the same cultivation. Sacred Lord Dark Shadow had to believe the words of the upper echelon of Nine Darkness Palace, so he found an excuse to leave and hid in the shadows. He didn't expect to see such a terrifying scene. Even 3 initial stage Mystic Light Realm cultivators wouldn't be able to deal with Zhao Feng, the god-slaying arrow, the disciples of the Ji family, and the horde of beasts. Luckily, Nine Darkness Palace sent a message over early, or else he would have died here. What speed! The Holy Lord of Shadows felt the wind and lightning behind her, as well as the cold, killing intent. Sacred Lord Dark Shadow specialized in escaping, but he couldn't even shake off Zhao Feng right now. Dark Night, Flowing Shadow. The Sacred Lord of Shadows turned into a dark streak of light and instantly shot into the air, traveling tens of thousands of miles. Lightning wings, spatial flash. Zhao Feng circulated the fire of wind lightning and used another spatial flash. Sacred Lord Dark Shadow was the fastest initial stage Mystic Light Realm cultivator Zhao Feng had ever met. Zhao Feng wouldn't be able to catch up to him in a short amount of time. Skylocking Bow. A golden arrow of wind lightning condensed on the dark silver bow in Zhao Feng's hand, and it shot through a part of the limitless ocean with a whoosh. Boom! The next time the golden arrow of wind lightning appeared, it pierced through Sacred Lord Dark Shadow's chest. Damn it, this brat. The Holy Lord of Shadows paused for a moment. This arrow contained the violent power of wind and lightning, as well as the destructive power of tribulation lightning. It was extremely effective against a sacred leader's sacred body. After releasing that attack, Zhao Feng used the lightning wings spatial flash again and closed the distance between them. An obscure psychic power flashed through the sea of mist. The mark of the god, I had been successfully branded. When Zhao Feng imprinted the mark of the god's eye, the Holy Lord of Shadows was still in pain from the wind lightning arrow. That weak feeling was instantly ignored. Whoosh! The Holy Lord of Shadows felt danger, so she ignored her injuries and turned into a streak of dark light that shot into the air. Let's see where you can run to. Zhao Feng floated in the air and closed his eyes. He sensed the location of the Holy Lord of Shadows and pulled the bowstring. Swoosh! A dark purple arrow infused with a soul attack pierced through the air. Poof! Zhao Feng could feel that his soul attack had hit the Holy Lord of Shadows. How could that be? I'm so far away, but the sky locking bow didn't lock onto me. The Holy Lord of Shadows' heart jumped. He obviously knew about the sky locking bow, but Zhao Feng wasn't chasing after him, and he didn't feel like he was locked onto by the sky locking bow. It was weird that that arrow had hit him. Just as the Holy Lord of Shadows was thinking, another arrow of light flew over. The Holy Lord of Shadows immediately flew out in an arc, but he was still hit by the arrow. He didn't feel like he was locked onto, but the arrow still followed him. Damn, let's leave. The Holy Lord of Shadows didn't dare to stop and continued to run. However, one after another, the light arrows hit him, leaving him nowhere to hide. Damn it, this definitely isn't the sky-locking bow. Could it be an ancient divine bow? The Holy Lord of Shadows' body was scorched black, and he was in a sorry state. This definitely wasn't the sky-locking bow's specialty. He kept on running, but he was unable to escape from the arrows. In the end, the Holy Lord of Shadows arrived at a teleportation array in a city and teleported to another city. I'll take his life first. Zhao Feng put away the sky-locking bow. If the distance was too far, the power of the sky-locking bow would decrease, and the damage it could do to the Holy Lord of Shadows would increase. If he wasn't able to kill the Holy Lord of Shadows in the end, this weird phenomenon would make him suspicious, and the mark of the gods I might have been wiped away with the help of the upper echelon of Nine Darkness Palace. It was better to keep him alive, since he might be of use in the future. As long as it wasn't a sacred king or a demigod, it would be very hard to detect Zhao Feng's mark of the god's eye. The enmity between Zhao Feng and Nine Darkness Palace had reached a level where only one side would be able to stop. Right now, Zhao Feng was an important member of the Crown Prince's faction, and Nine Darkness Palace couldn't do anything to him in the open. Otherwise, it would seem that the 13th Prince wanted to take the position of Crown Prince and use the faction behind him to weaken the 9th Prince. Even if the Sacred Emperor and Empress liked the 13th Prince, he would have no chance of becoming the Crown Prince if he did something like that. At this moment, Zhao Feng and the 9th Prince were on the same boat. If something happened to the 9th Prince and he lost the position of Crown Prince, it would be time for Nine Darkness Palace to kill Zhao Feng. Whoosh! Zhao Feng waved the arm guard in his hand, and his figure started to fade as a layer of silver light appeared. Wang Shua. In the next instant, Zhao Feng appeared in the air above the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Sii. The golden armored male, the forces of the Ghostfire clan, and the 8-star tower instantly felt a chill run down their spines. Many experts were trying to find a chance to escape, but they were scared by Zhao Feng's sudden appearance. At this moment, the members of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion had escaped, and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight, Old Monster Su, and company were being treated. Bai Qingwei relaxed when she saw Zhao Feng return. Everyone was busy outside the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Only the forces of the Ji family, the 8-star tower, and the Ghostfire clan were left in the sky. Zhao Feng, did you take care of the Sacred Lord of Shadows? The golden-armored male asked. The Sacred Lord of Shadows was famed for his ability to hide and escape. It was already very good that Zhao Feng was able to find the Sacred Lord of Shadows. Since Zhao Feng had returned so quickly, it was hard to say if he had taken care of the Sacred Lord of Shadows. Jilan and those from the Ji family were also surprised. The Ghostfire clan will become a subsidiary force of Supreme Emperor Dark Knight's assassination organization. Anyone who doesn't listen to orders will be killed. Now let's talk about the compensation from the 8-star tower. Zhao Feng announced the fate of the Ghostfire clan before looking at the golden armored male. Although the disciples and elders of the Ghostfire clan were unwilling, there was nothing they could do. Once a sacred Lord-level Grand Elder died, even if they didn't join Zhao Feng's forces, other forces would come to deal with them. Thank you, Master. Supreme Emperor Dark Knight sent a message through the Dark Heart Seal. The Ghostfire clan was a force that cultivated the Tao of Ghosts, and they had much more potential than the disciples of the 10,000 Sacred Clan. This way, his assassination organization would be able to truly develop. The golden-armored male's heart shook. Zhao Feng completely ignored what he said and directly talked about compensation. Furthermore, Zhao Feng personally announced the fate of the Ghostfire clan before talking about compensation. The golden-armored male and the members of the 8-star tower felt bitter in their hearts. It would be fine if Zhao Feng offered some compensation. However, Zhao Feng didn't say anything, so they didn't know how much compensation they should give. If it was too little, Zhao Feng might be unhappy, but if it was too much, they would lose out. The 8-star tower will take responsibility for all the losses that the Ocean Smoke Pavilion caused this time. Furthermore, the 8-star tower will give the Ocean Smoke Pavilion a certain amount of resources every year, including manpower. The golden-armored male was silent for a while before finally speaking. Also, join the 9th Prince's force. Zhao Feng spoke after hearing this. His tone was firm and unquestionable. The expressions of the golden-armored male and the elders of the 8-star tower became grim. If the 9th Prince had the same force and strength as the 4th Prince, the golden-armored male would join without Zhao Feng even needing to say anything. However, the Crown Prince himself wasn't strong enough, and the 4th Prince, the 13th Prince, and the 7th Prince, who were extremely strong, wouldn't just sit there and wait for death. The 9th Prince's chances of becoming the Sacred Emperor were extremely low if he continued to be the Crown Prince. Fine. At this moment, only those from the 8-star tower were left. They couldn't run away or win, so what else could they do? The golden-armored male and the elders of the 8-star tower felt extremely frustrated. "You can leave now," Zhao Feng straightforwardly said. Those from the Ji family took in a deep breath. Just like that, Zhao Feng took in a 3-star force and forced another 3-star force to join the ninth prince. Zhao Feng brought the members of the Ji family into the Ocean Smoke Pavilion after dealing with this. Zhao Feng could tell what Sacred Lord Star Demon wanted, but he didn't know if this was what the 8th prince wanted. However, it was already good enough that the Ji family could stand behind the ninth prince. The Crown Prince's overall strength would finally increase. 3 days later, the Ocean Smoke Pavilion was reorganized and returned to normal. The 8-star tower also sent over the promised resources. Just what Zhao Feng had obtained from the Divine Illusion Dimension and the Imperial Tombs wasn't enough for him to develop such a large force. "I'll go visit Senior Star Demon in a few days." Zhao Feng said goodbye to Jilan. Zhao Feng hadn't finished looking through Sacred Lord Star Demon's private stash yet. The Purple Star Tower was a great place to cultivate, and he had the eyes of Samsara to investigate as well. Zhao Feng would definitely need to go to the Ji family. However, before that, Zhao Feng needed to stay in his territory and prepare everything. Within the misty spatial world, the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly had used the 100 Origins sacred honey and was in a deep sleep. The sky's shaking golden ape also showed signs of breaking through under the little thieving cat's care. After the Crown Prince trial ended, Zhao Feng returned, and an invisible draconic providence surrounded the Ocean Smoke Pavilion. Zhao Feng went around the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, the 10,000 Sacred Clan, and Supreme Emperor Dark Knight's assassination force before returning to the Ocean Smoke Pavilion and entering seclusion. The focus of his seclusion was obviously to cultivate the soul recovery divine technique and comprehend the soul splitting technique. A month later, Zhao Feng's lightning soul body was completely purple and glowed with a faint light. It was as if it had a mind of its own and had left the boundaries of a soul body. There were many reasons for this. Firstly, when Zhao Feng's soul merged with the god's spiritual eye, an unknown change had happened. Secondly, when his god's eye evolved, the purple soul sea and god tribulation lightning symbols merged with his soul, forming his lightning soul body. Lastly, with the help of many treasures and the soul recovery divine technique, he had finally reached the 8th level. I can start cultivating the first level of the soul splitting technique now. Zhao Feng's heart moved slightly. At this moment, his soul had reached the requirements that the person who wrote the soul splitting technique had mentioned, and it even exceeded them. Although the soul recovery divine technique hadn't reached the peak yet, the activity of Zhao Feng's soul had already surpassed the description of the 8th level of the soul recovery divine technique. Once I successfully split my soul, I can place the eye of death on my soul. Chapter 1008. According to Zhao Feng's guesses, the split soul would be Zhao Feng's clone to a certain degree. The clone of a normal Sacred Lord would have at least 30% of the main body strength, depending on the rank of the clone technique. Zhao Feng didn't know what kind of battle power his soul clone would have when it succeeded. Zhao Feng circulated the soul splitting technique after making all the preparations and entered the world of his soul. This was a very dangerous soul technique, so Zhao Feng calmed himself down and started to cultivate step by step. 3 days later, Zhao Feng's soul felt a wave of pain. His lightning soul body started to swell, and the size of his soul exceeded Zhao Feng's body. Several bolts of lightning occasionally flowed around his body. A few more days passed, and Zhao Feng's soul continued to swell until it completely covered his body. A dark purple Zhao Feng appeared within the misty spatial world. It was extremely condensed, and there were countless symbols of God tribulation lightning within it. This was Zhao Feng's soul, and Zhao Feng's body was covered by the condensed soul. If others saw Zhao Feng's soul right now, they would jump up in fright. Zhao Feng's soul had turned into something even more condensed than the soul of a late-stage mystic light realm. It had the vitality of a living being, and there was also the power of lightning within it. Everyone knew that in order to completely kill an emperor, one had to destroy their soul. Even an early-stage mystic light realm wouldn't be able to destroy Zhao Feng's soul right now. At most, they would be able to imprison Zhao Feng's soul and slowly wear it down until it died. Time passed by slowly. Zhao Feng cultivated the first level of the soul-splitting technique very slowly. He was afraid that if he rushed it, the god's spiritual eye would change, and that would be bad. Zhao Feng's consciousness was completely focused on his soul, and he observed every single change in it. As long as there was a hint of danger that exceeded his expectations, Zhao Feng might stop the soul-splitting technique. At this time, Zhao Feng's soul body had already swelled and deformed. His original appearance could not be seen clearly, and he looked like an evil spirit. Whoosh! In his soul, the tribulation lightning imprints were moving about crazily. From this, it could be seen that Zhao Feng's soul energy was circulating rapidly. An intense, soul-tearing pain constantly assaulted Zhao Feng's consciousness. The most crucial step, Zhao Feng's nerves were taut, and he did not dare to be negligent. Buzz, buzz, buzz. In the center of Zhao Feng's dark purple soul body, there was a light purple area. The thunder and lightning marks that moved through this area were even fresher, as if they were real thunder and lightning creatures. A heart-wrenching pain appeared in Zhao Feng's soul consciousness. His soul body's face twisted, making him look like a ferocious ghost. At this moment, Zhao Feng's soul had already begun to split apart. The faint purple area was where it split apart. The soul was the foundation of everything, and one could imagine the pain of splitting it in half. Zhao Feng immediately circulated the soul recovery divine technique and the 10,000 divine thoughts technique to quickly heal himself and relieve the pain in his soul. This was something that Zhao Feng had just discovered. The healing effect of combining these two techniques was extremely shocking. Sizzle. The faint-colored area in the center of Zhao Feng's soul body split apart once again, and countless god tribulation lightning imprints almost shot out from it. Just like that, every once in a while, Zhao Feng would circulate the soul-splitting technique and pull his soul to the side. Then, he would circulate the soul recovery divine technique and the 10,000 divine thoughts technique to quickly heal himself. This cycle continued for a month. Zhao Feng was still in the process of splitting his soul. At this moment, he was already used to the pain of his soul splitting apart. His god spiritual eye was also very obedient and didn't show any changes. From within the misty spatial world, one could see Zhao Feng's soul had almost split into two. At the center of the two souls, there was a lot of soul matter that was connected to the god tribulation lightning imprints. The dark purple soul slowly wriggled like a living being. This was Zhao Feng circulating the soul recovery divine technique to heal himself. The two souls each had half of Zhao Feng's face, and they looked exactly the same. The only difference was the eyes. The soul that split from the right didn't have the god's spiritual eye. The danger period is over. Zhao Feng finally let out a breath. The two souls that each had half of Zhao Feng's face had the same expression. When the soul had almost split in half, but both have still had Zhao Feng's consciousness, the first level of the soul splitting technique was more than half complete. It seems like the split soul is also a lightning soul body. Zhao Feng was slightly excited. There was no doubt about the benefits of a lightning soul body. Not only could Zhao Feng use the soul recovery divine technique to heal his soul, he could also absorb the power of lightning to heal his soul. This wasn't something a normal soul could do. Now, I just need to completely separate the two souls. In order to be stable, Zhao Feng proceeded slowly. At the same time, he could observe the process and understand the nature of the soul, as well as the important aspects of splitting the soul. This was all for him to prepare for the second level of the soul-splitting technique. The second level of the soul-splitting technique was only half complete. Zhao Feng would have to rely on himself for the rest. 10 days later, the two halves of Zhao Feng's soul completely separated. The two souls each had half of Zhao Feng's face, half of his body, legs, and arms. Such a soul body was simply too unsightly. I should be able to slowly heal myself and return to my original appearance. Zhao Feng thought as he circulated the 10,000 divine thoughts technique and the soul recovery divine technique. Within the misty spatial world, the two halves of the soul floated in the air and faced each other. Gradually, the surface of the other half of the soul began to wriggle and slowly expand. First, it grew a body, then a head, then hands and feet, but it was only a rough shape. Another 10 days passed. The newly grown arms, legs, and body finally started to become more detailed. The two souls were no longer just halves, but a complete human form. Two dark purple soul bodies floated down. Their appearance was completely the same as Zhao Feng's original body. One of the souls, which had a faint golden left eye, returned to Zhao Feng's body. I'll use the spiritual flesh, snow, jade, lotus root to create a temporary body for you. Zhao Feng murmured to himself. His current state was extremely unique. Although the two souls were separated, they both had Zhao Feng's consciousness. This gave Zhao Feng the feeling that he had two lives. Even if the soul with the left eye was destroyed, he wouldn't die. He would live on as the other soul. Of course, Zhao Feng still thought of the soul with the god's spiritual eye as his true body. A body created from the spiritual flesh, snow, jade, lotus root soon appeared, and the split soul entered this temporary body. This clone seems to be much better than Sacred Lord's clone secret technique. Zhao Feng was slightly excited. Sacred Lords used the origin of their sacred body to create a clone and then imprinted their soul intent into it. Although the clone listened to the orders of the true body, the two had their own thoughts. If the clone was too strong and something happened to the true body, the clone might escape from the true body's control. Such a thing had happened in the Lord dynasty before. A clone of a sacred lord that escaped would return after 1,000 years, kill the true body, and replace it. However, Zhao Feng's current clone was his soul, and his consciousness was himself. He didn't know the exact details. Zhao Feng was only sure that the soul, created by the soul-splitting technique, would never betray him. From now on, you'll be called Zhao Wang. Zhao Feng named his clone because in the future, Zhao Feng would merge the eye of death into his body. Zhao Feng and Zhao Wang share their vision. Everything that Zhao Wang saw, Zhao Feng would also see. Furthermore, Zhao Feng and Zhao Wang didn't even need to communicate with each other. Zhao Feng's thoughts were Zhao Wang's thoughts. Zhao Feng suddenly realized that the clones created by the soul-splitting technique had exceeded his expectations. However, there's one thing that can't compare to a Sacred Lord's clone secret technique. Zhao Feng looked at everything logically. After splitting his soul, Zhao Feng's soul intent, which was about to break through to the early stage Sacred Lord realm, was just a tiny bit away from falling to the quasi-Sacred Lord level. On the other hand, Zhao Wang's soul intent was only at the early stages of the Great Origin Core realm, and the body created from the spiritual flesh Snow Jade Lotus Root was at the peak Small Origin Core realm. This meant that Zhao Feng's strength had decreased, and his clone, Zhao Wang, was too weak. He wouldn't be able to be used in the short term. After a Sacred Lord formed a clone, their sacred body would be affected, but their soul intent wouldn't drop, and the battle power that the clone had could be used immediately. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Zhao Feng wasn't disappointed at all. The growth of a Sacred Lord's clone was limited. Unless the clone left the main body's control or the main body died, the clone would never be able to surpass the main body. With Zhao Feng's experience from 2 lifetimes, as well as many treasures and secret techniques, Zhao Feng's clone, Zhao Wang, could be made into a peerless expert whose battle power was comparable to the main body's, and it wouldn't betray Zhao Feng. Just like that, Zhao Feng stopped researching Zhao Wang's clone and entered a state of cultivation. Although the soul splitting was successful, the injuries of the two souls hadn't fully recovered yet. Injuries to the soul had to be treated carefully in order to avoid future problems. What's going on? Zhao Feng exclaimed as he opened his eyes. Could it be? Zhao Feng's heart jumped as he looked at Zhao Wang and finally understood. The two of them shared the same vision and consciousness. Zhao Wang's comprehension would also be passed into Zhao Feng's body. Of course, this was only the comprehension and experience. The power couldn't be shared. Otherwise, Zhao Feng could directly raise Zhao Wang's strength to the level of an emperor. This is similar to when I circulate the 10,000 divine thoughts technique. After circulating the 10,000 divine thoughts technique, Zhao Feng could multitask and do many things at the same time. At this moment, Zhao Feng could multitask, but he was doing the same thing at the same time, which was more efficient. I'll merge the Eye of Death into it after a while. Zhao Feng planned. The closer the cultivation of the Eye of Death was to the soul of the owner, the easier it would be to refine it. However, Zhao Feng and Zhao Wang's souls were completely the same, so there was no need to refine it. Therefore, even though the difference in cultivation was huge, they could merge it directly. After merging with the Eye of Death, Zhao Wang, who was only at the peak small origin core realm, would almost never be in danger. Chapter 1009. 5 days later, the injuries to Zhao Feng and Zhao Wang's souls had mostly healed. Zhao Feng exited seclusion and left Zhao Wang in the misty spatial world. Right now, Zhao Wang needed to use every second he had to increase his strength. Firstly, Zhao Wang's soul was going to merge with the Eye of Death, so it was best for him to cultivate a technique that was related to the Eye of Death. The 5-elemental wind, lightning technique obviously wasn't an option. Very quickly, Zhao Wang found the Yin Thunder Death method from his memories. This was a heaven-grade technique that Zhao Feng had memorized in the ancient God Secret Palace's library. The Yin Lightning Death technique was a technique that focused on the power of Yin Lightning and the intent of death. It could unleash the characteristics of both the lightning soul body and the Eye of Death. The value of this technique wasn't any lower than the peak techniques of the core disciples of the 8 big families. Zhao Wang then started to cultivate the Yin Lightning Death technique in the misty spatial world. Under Zhao Feng's guidance, he quickly grasped the basics. At the same time, Zhao Feng was able to obtain Zhao Wang's comprehension and experience. Zhao Feng didn't even need to do anything, and he was able to obtain the experience of cultivating this technique. It was as if Zhao Feng had cultivated it himself. Master, Duke Nanfeng has been waiting for you for a while. Bai Qingwei arrived outside Zhao Feng's hall. And when Zhao Feng finished cultivating the soul-splitting technique, Bai Qingwei sent a message to Zhao Feng through the Dark Heart Seal. At the same time, Zhao Feng also learned a shocking piece of news from Bai Qingwei. Duke! Zhao Feng and Bai Qingwei walked into a spacious hall. Zhao Feng also guessed Duke Nanfeng's goal. Zhao Feng, the Great Gan Lord Dynasty and the Dark Moon Lord Dynasty have started a war. Duke Nanfeng said, it should have started when the Crown Prince trial started, right? Zhao Feng straightforwardly said, the non-humans would definitely attack when the Crown Prince trial started and the Draconic Providence was the weakest. That's right. Half a year ago, many powerhouses of the forces had already guessed something about the assassination that happened in the Great Qian Royal Palace. However, most people thought that this was just a huge conflict between the 2 dynasties and that the Great Qian dynasty would be fine. Who would have thought that it would be an all-out war this time? However, even if the Great Gan Lord Dynasty and the Dark Moon Empire were to fight, Duke Nanfeng didn't need to come to Zhao Feng's place. He could just wait for Zhao Feng to come out of seclusion. Zhao Feng's eyebrows rose up. At the beginning of the war, the Great Qian dynasty was already at a disadvantage. Duke Nanfeng knew what Zhao Feng was confused about, so he explained. It seems like the outsiders have planned this and are well prepared. Zhao Feng's expression changed slightly. As far as Zhao Feng knew, the ones guarding the northwest were the Tai family and the Yu family, 2 powerful families. At the start of the battle, Great Gan was already at a disadvantage. From this, one could see how strong the alien race dynasty was. Once the Great Qian dynasty fell into a disadvantageous position, it would definitely borrow the power of the sections. Therefore, the Great Qian dynasty issued a sect recruitment order. Duke Nanfeng said, the sect recruitment order is the Great Gon Lord Dynasty's policy. All the forces and clans within the territory of the Great Gon Lord Dynasty must send a certain amount of battle power to the front lines. Bai Qingyue's voice sounded in Zhao Feng's mind. Many forces within the territory of the Great Gon Lord Dynasty were protected by the providence of the Great Gon Lord Dynasty. To a certain degree, the Great Gon Lord Dynasty had control over them. Zhao Feng didn't say anything after hearing this. This matter wasn't as simple as it seemed on the surface. Now that the Crown Prince had been confirmed, all the forces stood behind different factions. This obviously included the front lines. For example, the Tai family was the 4th Prince's force, and the Yu family was the 8th Prince's force. The forces behind the 9th Prince were already weak, so they would be alone on the battlefield and would definitely be targeted by the other forces. The war between Lord Dynasties was the worst for the 9th Prince. How will the forces be distributed after they go to the battlefield? Zhao Feng asked. They are mostly managed by Sacred King Feather Spirit, who is a commander of the Lord Dynasty, but he has given these small matters to his subordinates. I'm here for this as well. Duke Nanfeng was also the force behind the 9th Prince, so he obviously wouldn't watch the other princes use this chance to attack the 9th Prince. Duke Nanfeng was also an Imperials, so he had some connections within the Imperials. I have some connections over there. When the time comes, your forces will go with my guards, Duke Nanfeng said. Being the ruler of an island zone, Duke Nanfeng also needed to send his forces to the battlefield. Then I'll leave it to you, Duke. Zhao Feng smiled and said. With Duke Nanfeng's help, the forces from the Ocean Smoke Pavilion wouldn't be in trouble. I will also try to contact the forces behind the 9th Prince and try to gather them together. Duke Nanfeng had a solemn expression. If the 9th Prince successfully became the emperor, his authority as an imperial uncle would increase even more, and he wouldn't just be the ruler of the island zone anymore. Furthermore, this was the best way to help Zhao Feng resolve the danger. He knew the enmity between Zhao Feng and 9 Darkness Palace. That's for the best. Zhao Feng nodded his head. He couldn't let the forces behind the 9th Prince be weakened too much. If the forces behind the 9th Prince were all destroyed, would he be able to become the emperor by himself, even if he didn't do anything wrong? Right now, Zhao Feng and the 9th Prince are on the same boat. If the 9th Prince failed, Zhao Feng's forces wouldn't be enough to deal with 9 Darkness Palace. On the other hand, if the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, the Sure family, and the other forces were weakened, the chances of a 9th Prince becoming the emperor would decrease. Bai Qingyue, quickly gather everyone, Zhao Feng ordered. The earlier they prepared, the better. Is there anything happening with the 9th Prince right now? Zhao Feng asked. Don't worry, after what happened last time, the defenses of the Imperial Palace are so strong that not even a fly can fly in, Duke Nanfeng said with a smile. On the other hand, Zhao Feng, your forces are developing quite well. Duke Nanfeng sighed. He had also received news about the Ghostfire clan and the 8-Star Tower. Zhao Feng's forces had expanded once more, and he had also developed in many areas. His overall strength had already surpassed normal 3-star powers. All he lacked was peak experts and resources. It wasn't a good thing for the Ocean Smoke Pavilion, which was currently developing, to receive a clan conscription order. Furthermore, the mastermind behind the Ghostfire clan and the 8-Star Tower was 9 Darkness Palace. Duke Nanfeng had found out that the Ghostfire clan and 9 Darkness Palace had a very hidden connection. Duke Nanfeng was also very worried for Zhao Feng. If it wasn't for the Crown Prince trial, Zhao Feng would have been hunted down by 9 Darkness Palace long ago after offending such a strong demonic Dao force. He also admired Zhao Feng for being able to fight against 9 Darkness Palace until now and develop his forces to such a degree. I know that. A cold light flashed through Zhao Feng's eyes. One day later, a quasi-sacred lord of the Ocean Smoke Pavilion led a large group of members and left the Misty Moon Island Zone with Duke Nanfeng. Zhao Feng went into seclusion once more. Within the misty spatial world, Zhao Feng and Zhao Wang sat opposite each other. Start to refine the Eye of Death. A golden light flashed through Zhao Feng's left eye, and the Eye of Death in its soul form appeared in the air. Because the Eye of Death's level was too high, Zhao Feng had to personally refine it. Zhao Feng's expression changed as his powerful soul intent covered the Eye of Death and merged it into Zhao Wang's right eye. The Eye of Death suddenly trembled. Oomph. Zhao Feng's soul intent instantly attacked it. Last time, the god spiritual eye had mutated and failed. This caused the Eye of Death to fear Zhao Feng's soul. However, under Zhao Feng's powerful intent, it finally yielded. Refined. A surge of powerful soul power surged out of Zhao Feng's soul and turned into a gray-purple flame, according to the soul eye refining technique. Wang, a ball of gray-purple soul flame burned where Zhao Wang's right eye should be. Zhao Wang's soul let out a low roar. Wang, the refinement process was extremely smooth. The colors around the Eye of Death started to change as it started to merge with Zhao Wang's soul. Even the symbols of God Tribulation lightning were able to move around the Eye of Death. When the colors around the Eye of Death started to merge with Zhao Wang's soul, Zhao Feng stopped helping. All Zhao Wang needed to do now was circulate the soul eye refining technique and guide his soul to merge with the Eye of Death. When the Eye of Death completely merged with Zhao Wang's soul, Zhao Wang now had the ability to use the Eye of Death. At this moment, Zhao Feng came out of the misty spatial world and left the Ocean Smoke Pavilion after giving some orders. Zhao Feng went straight to the Duke's palace using the coordinates left behind by the misty spatial world. Duke Nanfeng wasn't here, so Zhao Feng flew toward the Haili province, which was the closest. When Zhao Feng arrived at the Haili province, he used the misty spatial world to leave behind a spatial mark. On a certain day, at the edge of the Ji family's forest, Wang Shua, a layer of silver appeared in the air, and a golden-haired figure appeared with a disturbance in space. When Zhao Feng left the Ji family, he left behind a spatial mark here. Zhao Feng's eyes moved when he arrived at the Ji family. The Eye of Death has completely merged with it. Zhao Feng entered the misty spatial world and used his god's spiritual eye to inspect Zhao Wang. It has indeed completely merged with it. The speed at which the Eye of Death merged exceeded Zhao Feng's imagination. However, Zhao Wang couldn't use the Eye of Death. How could he use the Eye of Death with his great origin core realm soul intent? Any random eye bloodline technique would be able to squeeze out all of his soul. However, Zhao Wang's intent had only just formed in such a powerful lightning soul body. He would be able to reach the level of an emperor or quasi-sacred lord in just a few years and catch up to Zhao Feng. On top of that, Zhao Wang had also obtained some other effect from the Eye of Death. For example, vision, the aura of death, the laws of death, etc. It was just like when Zhao Feng merged with the god spiritual eye, he gained super strong vision, half see-through ability, and reaction speed. These were all things that were reflected back to the physical dimension through the Eye of Death. With the Eye of Death, Zhao Wang's lack of resources and comprehension of the laws of death had been solved, and his speed of cultivating the enlightening death technique would become even faster. At the same time, Zhao Feng felt through Zhao Wang that there was indeed a dimension of death within the Eye of Death, but Zhao Wang wasn't able to open it right now. Zhao Feng still remembered how the Emperor of Death had summoned 3 Emperor-level vengeful spirits through the dimension of death back at the 18 Corners Pirate Sacred Land. That was one of the abilities of the dimension of death. Why don't you go to the continent and join a sect that cultivates the Tao of Ghosts? For example, one of the subordinate forces of Nine Darkness Palace. Zhao Feng's eyes spun as he suddenly smiled and said, "You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories."